Alright, with that, we're on the internet now.
Internet started.
Internet! I like that right when I do that, Jack's camera disconnects from my screen.
Yup.
He gone.
He's just like, I'm out. And I'm out.
It's real funny when you're just moving your mouse and your thumb fat fingers one of your mouse buttons and it's like a back arrow. And it just wrecks everything.
That is the best. I do it a lot. Hey, YouTube. It's episode 11. No longer the Tomb of Horrors. Now we're gonna get all heisty up in here.
Son of a bitch, I'm in.
Does anybody want to recap for an inspiration point before you do the last job of your career? You thought you were out, but now you're getting pulled back in.
Ocean 16. Last time, we were still in the dreaded Tomb of Horrors and our birthday skivvies, trying to find a way to get out, find our stuff, to find the Scalador. It's all a bit of a blur, so I might be mixing in the last two sessions. I know at one point... Oh no, it started with a giant skeleton beast that popped out of a solid oak chest, immediately cleaving Flynn in twine and hurting the others real hard. However, Thabo's muscles, Bosch's accuracy, and Arias' skills subdued the beast, and he died. Flynn's body turned to ash, dead and gone. Distraught, Thabo cut a piece of her hair off, thinking she was a failure, some sort of penance, and made a hair nest for her kiwi mouse. They continued to travel, finding something, a key or something, to get into the door with all the money that we threw into it. They discovered how to do that, got in, discovering Flynn's naked body on the ground, breathing somehow. I do believe it was Bosch that gave him some healing magic to bring him up. Flynn was confused, decided to roll with the punches because what is real anymore in his life? They continued to go and found a room with 3 big old cauldrons of stuff in it. One black, one green, and one was just dirty water. They discovered the one in the middle was acidic with something at the bottom. There was another one with another thing at the bottom. The thing there ended up being some goo monster that attacked. The party subdued it, reached in and got both of the pieces. It turned out to be 2 pieces of key. They got the key, continued with some ingenuity, getting across some spike pit and into another room, around a corner, where I do believe it was first Narias that fell unconscious in the room. Thavo followed, falling unconscious in the room. Flynn and Bosch, puzzled, could not see a reason for this. Bosch went in, did not fall unconscious in the room, went across, came back, fell unconscious in the room. Oh, but he did get Narias out of the room before falling unconscious in the room. So in that long hallway, Narias was unconscious out of the room, Bosch and Thabo were unconscious in the room. Flynn, being the brave little boy that he is, saw a giant boulder come crashing towards his companions and said, well, I've already died once, twice, 3 times, don't remember. So he runs in to try to save them, immediately falls unconscious, presumably all smashed by a boulder. They wake up on the beach. They see their stuff on the beach. Noraius is nowhere to be found. They get their stuff. Thavo's missing a boot. Cod piece is equipped and back where it needs to be. And we decide to give up because we cannot no longer find the giant mound that leads into the dreaded Tomb of Horrors. For 3 days we searched, found nothing, and no Noraius. So we left, feeling very accomplished. Another 3-4 week journey back to Toothstout, where we discovered it had 2 months had not actually passed, that we did another time jump and everyone expected us to start our missions. We found Noraius there with no memory of our time together. Very close time together. So we decided, all right, heist time. Flynn did speak with his teacher to learn a little bit more. Isban, I believe the other woman's name is, thinks she knows the voice of the person who made the wish. It's still a mystery as to how that was made, because Maloon Bokia had a piece of the Scaladroth the entire time. Mystery upon mystery. The other 3 were watching fighting pit games when we ended. I do believe I've covered literally everything.
That was a lot of recap.
That was about 4 hours of gameplay recapped.
I think we need to take our first break. All right, back in 5.
Brought to you by Matt Berry.
I wish it sounded more like Matt Berry.
You can all just have a point of inspiration because Flynn's recapped this so well that all of you are so ready to go. You remember everything.
I don't know how I do it.
Except for Noraius. You don't remember anything. But he is correct. You all are in the bar with ale as Flynn has just emerged through the doorway that leads to the alleyway on the side of bar with ale. The patron has just pushed past you, and as you look around the bar, you see the large barkeep standing behind, and the rest of your party around the fighting pits, all making their way back to the bar and drinking. That's where we pick up.
I learned a few things. How you guys doing?
Oh good, we fought a bunch.
You win some money.
I was just about to ask DM, do we make any money off of that?
I did.
You didn't, no.
Oh.
You just went in and fought. You didn't bet.
I didn't have a chance to bet.
Well, were you able to find out anything that would help us?
Maybe in the long run. Everyone in my academy remembers everything before the time jump, both of them. No idea why. I'm still trying to figure out why you, Bosch, and you, Thavo, still remember everything when it's only people from my school who do. I haven't met anyone yet that remembers the time before. She asked me to try to leave this place to see if we even could. But Thavo, you said you tried, yeah?
Yeah, but I've tried to leave before. It doesn't work out very well.
What happens?
I just end up back here.
It just
Like,
teleports you?
I'm like, I'm on a boat. I'm gonna go on this boat. And then I'm gonna leave. And then it's like, alright, time to get off the boat. Welcome back to where you were.
Oh, it just takes you back? It seems like it just takes you back?
Yup.
Odd. And everyone on the ship, everyone on the ship is acting like everything is normal?
I don't remember.
God, do I remember?
DM, did everyone act normal? That was part of my backstory, so I wasn't sure.
Yes, everybody acts as if you were heading into Muthana for the first time.
Yeah, everybody act like we were heading into Muthana for the first time.
Well, that answers that. Eastbourne, the wizard that put me to sleep that one time, she thinks she recognizes the voice of the person who made the wish that possibly created this new reality. So they are looking into that. I still don't trust them, but I think at this point in time, our interests are aligned. So we'll see. She still does have a piece of the Lion Ghost. But she's had a piece of the Lion Ghost the whole time. And somehow they were still able to make a wish. So that's even more concerning. But maybe that's what went wrong. Maybe they tried to make a wish with all but one piece, and this is what happened.
Oh, that's smart.
But she'll be in touch. If she learns anything. Maybe.
I mean, that voice that you heard, what did the voice say again?
Oh,
You've heard it
that's
twice,
not right. No, we just heard it once, you and me together.
Oh, okay. It was just that time. I thought you heard it another time. Okay.
That was the only time, right, DM? Because I didn't recognize the voice.
Yeah, it was just the one time that you heard it.
Maybe the only reason us three remember outside of your school is because we are so good at what we do, they would like us to be part of their school.
No, that's not it.
I think that's it.
You don't have any magical capabilities.
I know, but if I did, I'd be terrifying.
Yeah.
I'd be scared of myself.
I think that's about it. Just keep doing what we do, and hopefully one day it'll all make sense.
So what if we go heist this place, and then it's like, all right, you go back in time 6 months.
I don't know. We keep
Oh.
rolling with the punches, I suppose. Oh, and another thing that's interesting is that Bokia said the Tomb of Horrors was in a completely different place now, as if it teleported. But I still felt the energy on that island. So now I just think it's somewhere buried in the ground. All I know, that Akarak, I hope he's burning in all of the 9 hells. All of them. Yeah, I don't like him.
So what information do we have about this hoist?
This hoist?
Hoist.
Hey, what the information we got about this hoist? I was supposed to go to this place called City Drinking, contact grumpy old human named Greg. That's what I wrote down.
That is the information.
I
Should
do
we?
have the name to the wizard who might be responsible for that wish. Yule, spelled with a W. Just in case you all see him, tall elven male with wild red hair, tends to wear purple. If he's out and about looking like himself and not trying to disguise, just so you know.
What was that back alley guy looking like when we bought the stuff from him?
He looked like a guy wearing a trench coat and a face covered with like a scarf or a bandana, something like that. He had one gray eye and a little bit scarred in the little bit of the face you could see.
He looked like peak peak, like, male physical perfection.
Yes.
That's what we all want to look like.
Maybe it was that guy in the alley we met.
Could be. Wizards are crafty, the stronger they are. I can turn invisible now. For example.
I just hit things.
You don't just hit them, Favo. You hit them really hard. Well, we got everything we need, yeah? Set out in the morning.
Well, is there anything we need specifically to rob a bank for? I mean, it might seem a little obvious if we show up and like, oh, we need to buy a big box of bank lock cracking tools right before a bank gets robbed.
Norris, you seem like you might be crafty around a lockpick. You got plenty of those?
Just a backpack full.
That's a lot.
Just a backpack full.
He can do that. He's got his mage hand. I've got my invisibility. I'm small. I can go through holes.
I have invisibility as well.
Look at you. Look at us.
Well,
Bunch of
perfect.
thieves.
But I do think we should go to the Tomb of Horrors instead.
It's a terrible idea. You'll get smashed to bits. Your bits will get smashed to bits.
I mean, you got hit so hard last time, Narius. You don't remember? Freckle butt.
He just kind of like wide-eyed.
Well, I mean, you two can go invisible, so you guys just walk on in invisible, unlock it, get in, and then me and Bosch just beat up anybody we see that needs to be beat up.
That's the foundation to the plan. Nice and simple. We'll build off of that. We'll go talk to this nice fella, Greg. See what he knows about the place. I'm sure he can give some sort of a blueprint. Everyone on the inside's always got a blueprint. If you ever read the stories of all the heist books.
Narias, make an intelligence check. Okay.
Always a good sign.
Got illusion spells galore for distractions. I can make it look like there's a dragon in there. I'll keep them busy.
What if you act like you're a fancy businessman, and then we fold Narius in half and put him in a suitcase and act like he's money?
Hey, I'm
And then
not
we're
being
like-
the grease man.
and then-
Flynn is tiny enough to fit in the suitcase and doesn't have to be folded in half. Okay.
Oh,
I mean, I could fold you in half. You'll be small real quick, I promise.
I don't want to do that. No.
Just
yeah, you
imagine-
wouldn't remember, but she threw you along 17 pits of spikes.
I
At
don't know
least.
why I would ever let anybody do that ever.
Because if you don't make it, you get stabbed in your freckle butt. And poisoned. Imagine that. I can. Sucks. We'll come up with the details of the plan after we speak to Greg. No folding, people. Don't even think about it yet.
Imagine like a money suitcase folded with Narius in it with like some little blue horns hanging out the edge that don't fit in the suitcase.
I'm done. I say we have a long rest.
Okay. So you all spend the evening in Muthana as you stay at the frequented, not in Muthana, in Toothstab. Khan is Muthana. But you stay in the Palace Hotel, the inn that you've stayed in multiple times, ran by the small goblin with the marble floors and pillars. Nerais, do you stay with them this time, or are you still sleeping in your alley?
Meet me here. And I go to the alley. I ain't paying no money to the stupid hotel man.
I can pay for you.
For real? You wouldn't mind?
No. Have a bed.
I haven't slept in a normal bed in a while. Might as well, huh?
If you want to. It's your
I mean-
life.
Okay. I guess I follow them.
So you all stay at the palace, have a nice dinner, have some conversation about not the heist since you have no foundation to make a plan off of it, and wake up the next morning, have the free breakfast that is provided, and you all are ready to go for the day.
I feel like Thava would talk nothing about heist plans during that time, and each one was just more horrible after the other.
Just like the Ocean's 11 movies.
Okay, we'll keep it on the back burner, add it to the list, and then when we talk to Greg, we'll make a plan.
That's how plan ends every sentence.
Yeah.
All night long.
So the new day is upon you. Do you have anything else that you need to do in Toothstoud?
Check my pits.
Okay, look at your pits. They are still wrinkly.
Can I? Oh man, I don't want to. Never mind. I was gonna. Maybe at the end of this day I'll try that.
Didn't we talk to like the Zur guy, and he like gave him a potion that had anti-wrinkly armpit?
Yeah, how's it working?
Your armpits look younger, but there's still a wrinkle where your armpit is.
So it's working.
It's working.
How's
No
my
other side effects? Check my whole body.
Nothing. Thavo, you wake up the next day with hair down to the floor.
I like that. I'm just gonna.
What is that? Oh, I thought it was like Cousin It, from that old story. The Ackes family or something like that.
The Actus family. I will take the morning to just braid my hair and make some weird loops, and I'll create some climbing, like a jungle gym climbing thing for Kiwi.
Make my hair into a slide so that the mouse can slide in my hair. There's
Get
gonna be a whole playground of hair.
Decorate it with
It's gonna
corn.
be-
Make a corn slide.
Covered in
make it-
mouse poop.
I want to make this hair a little hard with some hairspray, and it'll be a trampoline.
Kiwi's trained.
It's
She
gonna be-
knows where to poop.
It's gonna be Radagast all over.
You spend the morning prepping your hair, and everybody else is ready while Flynn is finishing up checking his armpits for wrinkles.
I'll do 8 push-ups.
Nice. Getting better.
Hey, Flynn, I got a question.
Huh?
So, when we reset in time, is like the other realms resetting too, or is just this place going back months at a time?
Oh boy,
My
I do not
so
know.
right before I left, my family was attacked by some pretty crazy creatures, and I hate to think that they're having to relive that again and again. And if they are, am I technically there helping them? Because I was a major factor in making sure my family wasn't completely wiped out.
I don't know, Bosch, but my best educated guess is that everything weird is just happening here. If we can't leave, then I think it's safe to assume that the crazy magic also cannot leave. I hope.
I mean, maybe we can go ask one of the fairies if they've been in the Fae recently in the past, 2 months. See if time's different.
Problem would be if only us and the people from the school know it's different, it will just seem like normal time to them, though.
Mhm.
Just wish we could find one other person. Someone else outside of that school that knows something. But
Have we had
Okay.
any interactions with people since we've been back that seem like they're also kind of like weird about time?
No, not at all.
Well, it was just something to put on the list of things we might try to figure out. We don't have to spend a whole lot of time on it. I don't think there's much we can do to affect it right now. So I guess we're good to just head out.
how's that bed, Narias?
Was it made out of feathers? What was that godly material?
Don't know. Not street.
It's better than the road, that's for sure. And
No,
warm.
how much was it for everybody's rooms?
Did you get a room for everybody or just one big room?
What did we do, guys?
You should do a big room.
Yeah, usually do the adventurer suite thing.
We did the big room.
5 gold.
Okay.
And I'd love to walk into a Hilton being like, here's $5. Give me your best suite.
I mean, in comparison, 5 gold would be like $500.
That's not bad.
$500 for a night stay, not bad.
Oh, dang. I wish I could take that gold and make it into a down payment. Amazing.
Means I have $20,000. How big is a single gold piece?
The size of a gold piece?
I
I
imagine
imagine-
it's like a $50.
I was imagining like a dollar, like with Sacagawea dollars.
Yeah, it's just like a big coin. They're fairly heavy, and they're made of gold.
I think of my gold like the JFK coin. What, that 50-cent piece?
I was
I
saying
like to
those
imagine my
novelty,
gold.
those novelty R2D2 coins.
I have to think that's the size of a platinum. I like to think platinum's a little bit smaller but thicker.
It's like those old Pokemon cards that you got for going to the movies that were made of gold.
Oh yeah. Oh man. Now I'm mad because I don't have that anymore. So we have breakfast,
Yep, you sure did.
and if nobody wants to do anything, we can start to head to the place. On our way to, I didn't write down the town. I wrote down the place we're going in the town.
I don't think I gave you the town name last time, but I had it on my notes. It's called Gorsdra.
Oh, I do have that written down for some reason.
Yeah, I think I told you like a couple sessions ago.
Ah, that's why it's so high up there in the
Or
notes.
before the Tomb of Horrors, I told you the name of it, but I couldn't remember if I made something up last week or not.
Vault in the North City, Gorstra. Owned by the East Brides, which are the Hell People.
So, you're
Making
leaving?
our way.
Are you taking the wagon?
Do we need to take the wagon? I suppose we should.
Just in case we,
We need
need
to-
to carry a safe.
We need to carry it back, yeah. Indiscreetly. Discreetly? Discreetly.
Indiscreetly.
Yeah, that's what I said.
So y'all are taking the wagon out of Toothstout and heading to
Mhm.
Gorsdra on the south of the continent. The wagon itself prevents the quickest way of travel, through this entire thing, and makes you roundabout around a lot of mountain ranges and follow the river for most of your travels.
I'm fine with that. We can use a little bit of easy.
I mean, we got 2 months worth of daylight savings back in our life. It was a big fallback. Got time.
You lose your inspiration point for that. Making your way south, and then east, following the riverbank until the landscape flattens out to where you are allowed wagon travel. This part of your journey takes about 2 weeks. Cover a lot of ground. You all travel, continue to bring up things about Nereus that Nereus doesn't know that you know and make him uncomfortable. And we pick up midday on that 15th day. I need you all to make a perception check. At least one of you got up there.
Are we in desert or forest area?
This is more of like a flat plains. It's kind of like a weird hybrid of desert, forest, and then plains. Like you're riding up and you see kind of more directly south, the direction you're going, trees begin to fill out this whole section before dissipating into a mountain range. And if you look to your east, you see different areas of like dry sand dunes kind of in the middle of these very thin, short-grassed plains. So you're kind of like on the cusp of different terrains right now. They're all kind of blending together as you are soon to be in more forested area. Thavo. Riding on the front of the wagon with, I assume, probably Bosch, as the two of you are more of the animal handlers in the group. Riding up on the front of the wagon, you notice that there is a humanoid figure standing above the tree line to the south. You catch it as like a silhouette at first, and it looks like there's just one obnoxiously tall tree in the middle of this grove of trees that sorts to spread out into a small forest. But as you get closer and it starts to take shape, you see that it is a humanoid with both arms up, just doing a lot of this inside of the trees.
Since I can see super far, is that all I can make out of it?
Yeah, you're still very far away. Like, this is stopped being like a backdrop that's kind of like faded and all blended together because of distance, and now you're starting to get like the shapes of what this is. But it's a large humanoid. It's not a tree like you initially thought from, you know, maybe an hour or two away from where these trees are. Now kind of pushing up into that hour mark, it's starting to take shape into a humanoid doing this above like a tree line.
Does it look like it's friendly and just like dancing, like raise the roof?
Make an insight check. And for you, I will say with advantage.
This is a sand person telling us to stop or it's going to kill us.
Oh, that wasn't good.
Based on the distance, you're not sure. You can only see the top half. You can't tell if it's like, help me, help me, help me. Or if it's like, yay, yay, yay. Can't really make out the difference.
I'll nudge Bosch and be like, you see that person over there? They're like dancing or trapped in the tree.
Yeah, the really, really big one?
Yeah, is that person big? Or is that just weird? How's that looking?
He's above the tree line. I would say he's quite big.
Oh, it's like a person like above the tree line. Like I thought it was in like standing on top of a tree.
No, you only see the bottom half of whatever this humanoid person is, as they are taller than the tree line and doing a lot of this.
You mean the top half?
The top half is doing that. You can't see the legs. You don't see no jiving legs.
So that's like a how tall are the trees in this area?
You are unsure since you've not been down this way, but from where you're at, they look like they're 15 to 30 feet, somewhere in that range. They're big trees.
Should we go over there? Do they notice us?
Doesn't look like it. They're just doing this in the trees.
Are we eventually going to cross paths with them if we keep on this path?
The route that you're taking will take you to like the edge of the tree line. So on the map, if you guys can see, you're like right here to this big forest, but like
and where are we heading? Where are we going?
You're heading more to like the southeast direction, like around this forested area, because you do have a wagon, and wagon traversal in a forest not going to be the easiest thing for you. So you're avoiding all of this stuff, so you'll skirt around whatever this giant humanoid is.
I say we just keep the course and keep an eye on them, and see what happens. Looks like it might be could be some sort of forest celebration or a birthday.
Now that they've pointed it out, can I see it?
Yeah, at this point, like all of your attention has been drawn through like the small cubby hole that leads out, and you can all see this person pretty easily.
Does it look like a tree int? Is it like, or are we too far to tell?
It does not look like a tree int. It doesn't look like a tree. This just looks like a massive humanoid. More along the lines of a giant, I would say, you're getting at this point as you're pushing forward.
I'd like to keep an eye on it, but when we get what looks like as close as the path is going to take us to it, I'd like to make another check to see if I can tell if it's like in trouble, if it's warning us, if it's try to figure out what it's doing once we get closer.
Sure. You all roll up for another hour until you actually hit the tree line and then begin skirting along it. Bosch, Thavo. Bosch, you make a perception check. Thavo, you're going to make another insight check. Not with advantage this time.
Nice.
A couple leaves just land right on your eyes. And they make leaf glasses and you can't see, and you cannot figure out how to get them off of your eyes for a moment. Bosch.
You know, my mom used to do that. I think she has it. It helps keep the swelling down when you wake up.
The swelling from what?
I don't know. I never did it.
You know, just general eye swelling. Casual eye swelling. But you all get closer. Thavo, you're fighting leaves out of your eyes. Nereus and Flynn, you just see like a giant dancing in the middle of the forest. You don't really have a clue as to what is going on. Bosch, with your perception check. The giant doesn't appear to be in distress, and now at this point getting closer to the forest, the ground is like poof, 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 and the carriage is starting to shake. With that high of a perception check, you do see in the forest there are just like a swarm of goblins and kobolds all doing like the same thing in the trees, just doing this, and they're all like doing little dances, but they're all facing the direction of the giant. It appears to be some sort of like tribal dance, ritualistic dance, something like that. It seems like something is happening in this forest.
It kind of looks like a tribe's party of some sort. They all look to be dancing together.
Oh, I knew it.
So is it one tall goblin like on stilts, or is it an actual giant?
I could tell it's an actual giant, correct?
It is an actual giant to you, yeah.
Just not a bunch of goblins in a giant costume.
In a giant long coat. A 40-foot overcoat.
We should definitely go say hi. I don't know if you guys have ever been to a monstrous type of party. Way better than like a normal city party.
Well, we're not invited. And those things typically aren't friendly by nature. Goblins, I mean.
Well, also, we don't know exactly what they're celebrating. I mean, there's tribes that celebrate some pretty really messed up stuff, and I don't want to be an offering to their god if that's what they're celebrating.
Some rabbit stew.
Why would you
Or-
even say that?
Or some sort of death by snoo snoo or something like that.
Bosch, while you're saying that, you kind of look back over, like, describing the different types of dances, rituals, stuff like that you could find in the forest. You see one kobold has placed his hands on his hips and is now, like, thrusting at your wagon through the tree line.
We're so screwed.
I think it's either we're gonna stay and be a party to this, or we need to get the hell out of here.
Lynn, shoot your fireball at that thing.
We'll hold off on that. Could be a friendly gesture. Could be a sign to just like, nothing to see here, keep going. So let's just do that.
I would like to wave at the kobold thrusting at us.
Damn.
Yeah, he just keeps dancing. Dancing in your direction until, like, a tree obstructs the view of that figure. And then you can't see anymore, but you all pass easily enough without. The ground's still shaking and vibrating around you.
I really think we should go say hello
We
and
should
pay
check-
our respects.
We should check out what that is. It's a slight detour. I'm not supposed to let this happen. Magda has made this very clear, but since when do you see a giant in the forest dancing?
Never even heard a story of it.
Exactly. Maybe we can write our own story and sell it.
Could we tell what type of giant it was? If it was just like a normal giant or like...
Bosch is the only one that would have visual on it just because of that perception check to make out enough details. It's hard for you to determine what kind of giant this is. The skin is very, like, grayed from this distance. Very tall, long white hair, but it seems to have, like, full branches of a tree, maybe even some full trees inside of the hair that's, like, wrapped up in it and tied. It's not like a hill giant or anything like that you've seen before that's more native to these areas. This is not that. This is off, like, you can't really put a finger on it. This is something different.
Well, damn it, now I'm curious. I'll go and hop off the cart.
Okay. Bosch hops off the cart.
I'll hop off too. I'll tie the horses up to a nearby tree.
I'll stop Thavo. Don't leave me here with them. They don't...
How about this? In case they want to eat the horses, let me talk to the horse and be like, I'm not going to tie you up, but be ready. So I'm going to use speak with animals and talk to the horses. So it's what, we and Cloud, I think. Or no, we and Sunflower.
Yeah.
All right, we. All right, Sunflower, I'm not going to tie you up, just in case they think you look tasty. I don't think they do. But just hang out for a bit. We'll invite you over if it seems friendly. I'll lay some apples down.
I'm gonna put my hood up, hide my ears, and put my scarf on, so I'm not immediately looked at like dinner.
Sure, that makes sense.
I'll try to lead the way, since I seem like the more monstrous one out of all of us.
Okay. Easy enough. And then you all just move into the forest. Correct? You're all going?
I'm gonna cast
Yeah.
Thaumaturgy and make my voice 3 times louder and say, "Hello, hello, we saw your party. It looks very nice." As we're walking up, just so we're not immediately.
I'm gonna immediately stop moving and let them get 30, 40 feet ahead of me, and then continue. That might have startled them, and we'll go now.
Okay. You all progress in. Nereus casts Thaumaturgy and booms his voice through. Nobody stops to acknowledge you. As you get closer and start to see like these goblins and kobolds that are all scattered through the forest and starting to like push into the group, as now you're fully surrounded by all of these creatures. They all just keep dancing, and the ones that notice you turn and look at you and just place their hands on their hips and keep hip thrusting. A lot of hip thrusting going on immediately around you.
Can I do an insight check to see what their eyes are saying? Is this a scary threat, or is this a wonderful invitation?
Make an insight check.
Man, you really need to break out your golden armor.
It seems inviting
It's
enough.
always on the back burner. Okay. Just start rocking.
Okay. You guys are moving into this crowd of goblins and kobolds. Where are you heading? Are you heading towards the giant in the middle, or you just hanging out in the forest with goblins and kobolds dancing?
Dancing.
Are they like dancing? Is there like a central thing that they're dancing around?
You haven't found anything like that yet. You know the giant is probably still a ways off into the forest. Might take you a while to get there. But it's like the grouping is fairly sparse at this point. Like as you're passing trees, you're noticing like a couple here, a couple there. And as you move in, you're just like getting surrounded. There's just groups of dancing
This is a trap.
kobolds and goblins all hip thrusting at you.
Can I stay mindful of any outside influence from the music or the dancing? Just kind of self-assessing myself to see if I'm being encouraged to dance or put under some sort of trance.
Sure. I would say from the Feywild specifically, you are familiar to this sort of trap that exists out in the wilderness. Make an Arcana check.
I've started to drink.
Ooh, I'm really good at Arcana.
Hey.
The rhythm and the grouping does not match one of these like spell effect traps to where you dance until you die. As you're moving in, the space in which this is happening is way too large. This would have to be like the most expensive, elaborate trap that's ever been made for it to cover this area. But as of now, you're all just dancing and like slowly kind of shifting forward. You don't know really where the center is. Can't hear you, Sam.
Just being a half orc that lived like in an orc tribe, since orcs like are like a play hard, like work hard kind of race. Like, do I recognize like any of this like dance movements or like what they mean, or like if they're celebrating anything in particular?
Do I know this DJ?
Make another insight check.
Man, dang.
This seems to be a celebration of some sort. Some sort of celebrating is going on.
Okay, I'm not sure if there was like what they were celebrating. Did the music stop? Oh, okay.
I was like, uh-oh.
I was like,
We're dead.
Roll for initiative.
I was like, no.
God, I'm trying to find a gif of Carl from Aqua Teen Hunger Force dancing like dressed as the leprechaun, and he can't stop, but I can't find it.
Well, I'm just gonna keep raising the roof and thrusting forward into the crowd.
Guys, I'm not liking this. This is giving me some weird vibes.
Here you go. I just hand him a
I mean-
flask of whiskey.
The giant seems to be their center point of the celebration.
But do we
Right.
want to go under the big old giant? That doesn't sound like a great idea.
Well, no, we're not going to go under his feet, but we want to see what's going on and stay a nice, healthy 50 feet away from it. Him, they, them.
So you keep dancing and thrusting forward, Thavo, as the group just kind of follows you, as Nereus is very on edge, following the group looking around. You keep moving it.
I'm gonna keep my back to Thavos, and just so if and when they do actually attack, I'll be able to see them coming.
Okay. So two of you are just having fun dancing towards the front, and then Bosch and Nereus are kind of following, like, looking at everybody and watching all the angles to make sure you don't get attacked. As you continue to push in, about an hour passes, and the crowd is
Oh, nice.
dense. As you are still moving forward, and there are goblins, kobolds. You see now more like bugbears, hobgoblins, some humans, dwarves, elves, all towards the center of this. And you're starting to pass like small encampments. You see like smaller huts built into the ground, like at the roots of trees that burrow down into the earth, or some that are kind of like, hobbity houses where they're built into the side of hills and landscape.
Ooh, are there any cult robes? Any occult symbols the closer we get in?
Make a perception check.
Oh, man.
You do recognize, looking around, that there is a repetitive symbol between houses and some clothing and just kind of like decorations on some of the attire of the people participating in whatever this event is. Seems to be a hand. The hand is wide open. It seems to be brown and textured. There's a red trickle that runs from the bottom of the palm down into like two separate drops. And then all of the fingers branch out into long, like, spiraling trees with swirls.
Have I ever seen that symbol in my studies?
I will not have you roll for this. No, you have not ever seen this symbol in your studies.
Oh, well. I might point it out, be like, Gosh, Thavo, Nereus, ever seen a symbol like that with hands and branches and perhaps blood coming from the hand? I mean, it's not that weird. If you cut your hand, it bleeds, but I just...
Thavo, you are the only one qualified enough to make a check. I will say make a wisdom check on this one. You've not seen this symbol. Heard it described from other folk in original clans or between living in different establishments. You've heard of this symbol. You've heard it described. You've not heard anything bad about this group. Heard that they were friendly and lived in some woods and traveled a lot.
Yeah, I think we're all right. It's fine. I've heard of them before. They're just like some party forest people. They like to go from forest to forest and party.
That sounds like a great way to live. Perhaps after we save the world, I can find something like that. Join this tree hand place.
And you said we saw elves and dwarves too, so it's not just monsters, it's all races, right?
Correct.
Come.
I wonder how many mushrooms this crowd has done in the past couple days. Because they seem to be pretty...
I mean, How many do you see? None. So, probably all of them.
I like mushrooms. I like the shiitake mushrooms. You put them in a good noodle stew. Real good.
And as you're talking about mushrooms, the music cuts out. And you hear a roar as all the trees vibrate and the rest of the crowd around you all begins shouting up into the trees. And there's just one more loud and you kind of like get knocked off your balance a little bit from the vibration. And everybody starts going along with their day. They all disperse. Again, moving into different homes and hovels. You see people picking up baskets that were left on the ground. They continue on.
What time is it? Is it noon?
It's probably like noonish time, yeah.
I go up to like one of the non-goblin people, like dwarves or elves, and ask them, "Hey, what is this? We're new around here."
You walk up to... Do you have a preference on dwarf or elf?
Blue elf.
Okay.
Oh.
You walk up to an elf.
Racist.
You ask this question. The elf looks over at you. Places his hands on his hips. And begins to thrust a little bit. And then goes on with his day.
Okay. What? I just back up to the group. He didn't say a thing.
So, alright, who's got the map? I'm gonna pull out the map and take out the little pen and circle this place a lot. Gotta remember this is here. Alright, it's a good spot. Good spot.
mean- They might be gone by the time we get back, though they seem to be travelers.
Well, you never know. Just in case. We'll know where it is.
I mean, with everybody going back to their day-to-day life, are they just going to their homes, or are they like setting up shops, or like fires, or food?
It's not really a shop community. This is more of like a trades and communal group. So you see people like descending off into the woods. You see equipped with like bows, spears. Walking out into the woods, you see people, there are like gardens in certain sections, begin tending to those. Almost all of this is like very obstructed by just the tree cover in here, as you are in a dense forest. As you're walking around areas, you're starting to see clearings and different parts of this community's day-to-day living. As you are looking around and trying to figure this out, you hear a voice from behind you. Hey, are you all earth-blessed as well? As you turn around, and there is a dwarven man. No shirt. Long brown hair. All tied together with, like, twigs. And you see at the bottom there are, like, stones that are wrapped into it. The beard has, like, bits of leaves and stuff growing out of it. The bottom that reaches around the gut area of this dwarf is almost molded. It's turning, like, a gray, brown, green towards the bottom.
Oh, I mean, what we like the earth a lot. The earth is a good blessing.
We were passing through and we heard wonderful music and decided to see what was going on. Hopefully we're not intruding on anything.
No, all are welcome. That's perfectly fine. Hope you enjoyed yourself.
It was great. A good way to start the midday.
Are they all clothed?
For the most part.
Okay, thank you.
It's very minimal clothing, but it is clothed. Well
What?
then, did you all did you make it through the resetting of nature?
What I'm not familiar with that term, perhaps.
Oh, well occasionally, you know, It seems like the earth resets every once in a while. Plants will grow back that were previously picked through. The crop will return after we've harvested. It's the earth giving us more harvest, more sustenance, rewarding us.
Do I assume he's talking about a new season, or is he talking about time jumping?
I would say, based on his description, it is more along the lines of time jumping.
Oh, so this is common. We're new to this area and this whole resetting. We were actually trying to figure out why it was happening, because to us it's not common.
No, it's just the earth rewarding us. They help us out, give us more crops. It doesn't happen very often. It is fairly new. But since we've been doing the dance, it's been happening more frequently. So we keep dancing.
We did notice that some people aren't aware, like they didn't notice the reset at all. Does that happen here as well?
No, it doesn't happen here. It happens in the cities. Seems like the city folk always reset. The people with ties. We don't really have any of those. It seems like we just wake up one day and all of our crops are back, and plants have regrown, and herds of elk, deer, bear have all reformed.
Bosh, where were you when the first time before we met you, when you remembered? Were we in the forest?
Yeah, I just got to this place and then it happened and I ended up in a city.
What's your name to the dwarf guy?
Oh, we don't use names here anymore.
Is he dope?
Well, what was the giant? Is that a giant in the middle?
Yeah, he was the first one that noticed the rebirth.
So is he kind of like a leader here?
Kinda. Mainly just keeps all of us safe. Pretty strong.
Oh yeah.
So he's friendly.
Sure. If you're friendly.
Well, I think we should go have a chat with him. He seems like an interesting fellow.
Does he speak common?
Yeah.
All right.
Well, this is a lovely community you have. Thank you for letting us partake.
How do you say goodbye in this community? Is it the hip thrust?
Bye.
Oh, okay.
He turns and goes on with his day.
I'm not, totally opposed to speaking with the giant, but I do have a feeling that they don't understand really why it happened.
Well,
so I don't know what we can learn here.
the people might not, but the giant might. I mean, I don't know.
Well, he's the one leading everyone in this ritualistic dance that they think might keep the crops going, and I do not want to shatter any of those dreams or aspirations. It's not good to do that to a community of this type of closeness and all that. I don't know. Do you, what do you think we could ask him to learn from?
I mean, one, do we know if these people are native to Mathana or not?
Ah,
What
Flynn. Maybe where they're going next if they won't stay here. So maybe you can find them again.
Yeah. Now I'm a little. I know too much. I feel like I wouldn't belong.
Well, a good party's a good party. Doesn't matter what you're partying for, right?
It's true. Those are wise words, Nora. It's the wisest you've ever said.
Gilbert's got a point.
All right. So. Well, now I'm wondering because I've not been able to speak with my friends Bill and Pharaoh. But Pharaoh was native to Mathana, wasn't she?
No,
No?
but Pharaoh was also dead.
Yeah. Farah had been there for like a couple years, but she was in the wild most of the time with the fairies.
Well, that's a theory.
Bill, though, like out of game, might remember because since he's like more of a nature kind of guy.
That's what Flynn's contemplating right now. Something that we can go back and
Also, out of game, they said all the druids tend to leave the cities and live away. But that was way back when as well.
So it could be if you're not native to the place, you remember, or it could just very well be if you are. No, because Narias wasn't in a city when it happened, and you don't remember anything.
I
I mean,
granted, he was
technically,
dead.
aren't these cities not real native to this place? I mean, from what I can tell, I mean, the capital was there, but these other cities are made by the families, right? I mean, they're all trying to control this continent. On a grander scheme, these cities aren't real native to
I mean,
the
even though
continent.
they're not native, there are still people who've like had some families here for like a century or so. It's like who's been here for a century or so, or who's a recent traveler over the past like 5 years, maybe.
I've got two puzzle pieces. I don't know how they fit. I'm gonna keep thinking about this for many days.
Then how long have you been on Muthana?
Grand total, at least 6 months, maybe even longer. I'd say, right?
Yeah, it's probably around about that time. You've been here a while.
And Narias, what about you?
Oh, I've been here all my life.
So maybe that's why he resets, because he's was born here. Because I've only been here for almost 2 years.
Well, I was wondering if you were born here, or if you're from here,
Oh,
you
I was.
reset, or if you just need to be in a civilized area at the time. I mean, we could ask these people if they've lived here their whole lives. At least that would eliminate that doubt or uncertainty.
Yeah, even if they believe it's just this dance they're doing that's keeping them from being reset, something is making them not be reset each time.
What if you mentioned this, Flynn, that some people can make a wish? You think maybe with not all of the pieces, but the wish doesn't come out perfectly. So what if the giant has some pieces and he's accidentally doing it?
Well, we know it wasn't him. It was some mage who's thought to be missing for years. We can ask him and see if he's seen this mage. Come across. Can I sense the magic of the Scaladorth anywhere?
Make an Arcana check.
I don't remember how we did it last time, if I did that or if I need to do detect magic. Or...
You did it with detect magic. But that's a ritual spell, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Take a few minutes. Throw up detect magic. No. No radiating energy of a piece of the Scaladorth.
I sense it. Well, we can see if he'll meet with us. See if what the story of everyone is. If they're native to these places, or how long they've been here. Maybe this mage with the wild red hair passed by at some point in time. He's quite tall. Probably spotted him.
I mean, judging from the map to Bosch, maybe keep an eye out for another rabbit folk.
Right, yeah, maybe they've seen more rabbit folk, too. If he'll talk to us, we don't have to push it. Because, you know, squash.
Let's go talk to him.
You all progress inward for about another 30 minutes until you reach a large open clearing in the center. And there you see a giant sitting cross-legged. The same symbol, the hand with the blood going down, and then the trees out of the fingers kind of painted across the chest and the entire body, so it's like a massive portrait hanging in front of you. Sitting cross-legged in the center, and he's eating like whole watermelons, like jelly beans. Yeah, at this sitting position, probably about 15 foot tall, 15 feet off the ground. As you walk into the clearing, you see there is like a bustling, there are people moving around and having conversations.
Hello.
New friends, hello.
Yeah. We were talking to one of your friends a little bit ago. We were actually investigating this whole reset that the Earth has been doing, and we were looking to get a little bit more information about it. Why some people can remember it and why others can't.
I don't know. It seems to do with pursuit or being driven towards something. Resets certain people. But here we just live. And that's what I was doing when I saw the first great reset.
What did you see when it happened?
He kind of just like reaches over and points at his chest. The great hand appeared in the sky.
Did you hear a voice in your mind?
Have you heard the voice of Wayul yourself?
Yep, sure have. You know why you.
He kind of starts to ignore your questions and starts pointing down at some of the other ones. You hear, like, he can't really whisper to people, so you hear his conversations he's having. And he, Another spoken. It's another spoken. And people begin to, like, slowly swarm you. There's, like, a crowd forming around you. And you start to feel hands, like, touch your back. People are just touching you now. There's, like, a swarm of 100 people around you. Just all trying to touch you.
Yeah.
Pablo's just extremely happy that he's the only one that mentioned that you're gonna hear the voice at this point.
Okay. Why are they touching him?
Because I'm one of the spoken, Narias. I'm one of the spoken. Yeah. Wael spoke to me alone. Shoot a glance at Thabo. But I don't really know much about Wael. I would like to learn.
As you're saying this, you're being picked up by people, and now you're like on top of people's shoulders.
I'm not even like changing my posture. I'm just letting it happen.
I don't know much about Wael either. I've just heard the voice. Heard him speak.
Has he spoken to you more than once, or was it just before the first big reset?
The first was the one time I heard the voice.
What did it say to you, if you don't mind telling?
He told me to live as I was. During the first reset, I lived in the mountains. And Bosch, now that you're closer, and Flynn also with your research ability, this is a storm giant. This is a weird spot for a storm giant to be. My family and clan were dispatched by some of the invading cities. I lived alone for a few months, just wandering. Then the first reset happened. I heard the voice of a frail man tell me to just keep living this life. I noticed that things had changed, had gone back, progress had reversed itself somehow. I went back to the clan and they were back. I assumed it was some sort of sign or blessing from this great Wael. I was waiting for cantina music to pass my house.
Oh.
So I returned to the wilderness. I am one easy to spot. So people found me. Communicated. We started with 10, 15. A small village of goblins. And then we've grown to this. And since the first, the next two, none of us have been reset.
We only remember 2, right?
Yeah.
That's a wonderful story. It was a little bit different for us. We remember the times before, but we were still moved, if that makes any sense.
Movement's not occurred to any of us.
So we definitely have aspirations and things that we want to achieve. but we still been a little affected, but we still remember. Well, a few of us do. So you've never actually seen or met this Wayul?
No, I just knew his name after the first reset. It was more of just a presence that stayed lingering in my mind.
What do you know of line ghosts? Something called Scaladorth.
Greatly sought after artifacts. Said to grant wishes to people if they're all collected. I know of them.
See, it was our first assumption that this reset happened because of the Scaladorth. When we saw the reset, we did not see the hand, we saw the beast itself over the mountains. The voice I heard wasn't, it felt more of an accident, as it were. Didn't really give me any advice, more of a, almost I could hear his thoughts.
Interesting. I felt as though I was directly spoken to.
Well, that's... makes me feel better. I have a bad experiences with very powerful mages, and I was worried that this Wayul might not have good intentions, but seeing how you are and how everyone here is, I have a better feeling about him now. Still very much like to find him and meet him, if I could.
He kind of gives you like the dog head cock and curious face when you say that. Wayul is not man. Wayul is God.
I see. No disrespect, I did not mean any disrespect. Still learning about this deity.
And this whole time you were still held up on people's shoulders. Like you're just kind of being pushed from person to person through a crowd.
No, when I said that hearing him was more of an accident, I was actually bracing myself to be dropped. But I guess that didn't happen. Well, this has been very educational. Is there anything... I don't know, is there any answers that you all need? Anything... Maybe if we pass back by, I don't know if you stay in one area or if you travel around, anything that we can help you with?
No, we're content. Wayul provides.
Wonderful. Well, and I look back and see how far away I am from everybody. I don't really have any other questions. If you all are good.
Do you guys stay here or do you guys travel?
We travel quite frequently.
Where will you be? Like, what's your schedule? Do you have a route that you take?
We more of just wander from forest to forest. I believe we're heading towards the East Coast next.
Cool, I'll be looking.
I am not hard to find.
Me.
I am not hard to find.
seen anybody like myself?
He looks at you and just kind of nods. Yes, I've seen a handful of rabbit folk.
Would that be recently? I've came in search of some of my family.
They're still here, yes.
I'm just looking down to see if any of them has me.
Do you happen to know where they might be? Can you direct me to them, please?
I believe they're out on a hunt currently to return with food. They should be back by nightfall.
Would it be alright if we just stayed and waited for them? Stay out of your way, obviously, if anything you need to do, or if you need help, or whatever.
You are spoken as well. You're more than welcome to stay as long as you'd like.
May I have a watermelon?
He picks up a watermelon with like 2 fingers and then just throws it at you. So now there's a watermelon hurling at your face. Make an athletics check.
I open my mouth and let it smash into my head.
Yeah, you just kind of like reach out and grab it. Your hand kind of like sinks into the watermelon, like it's and now you just have like a watermelon glove, but you got it.
Awesome, thank you.
Do you know where a beehive is? I'm looking for some beeswax. Have you seen any around here?
Maybe you should mind your own.
There are plenty of colonies of bees in this forest.
Okay, thank you. Do you have a direction of where one would be?
As you start to ask that question, you get like a tug on your shirt, and it's one of the kobold guys pulling on you. Hey, just follow me. I'll show you where they're at. You see he's got like little whelps all over his scaly face.
Okay, guys, I'll be right back.
It takes you to hornets. I'm trying to get the honey from these hornets.
They're spicy bees.
So Naraz, you were led off into the woods following this bee-stung kobold, as he shows you that there's like a triangular shape of trees, like 3 trees that all have these like giant nests that are on the sides, like completely overtaking an entire side of a tree. Alright, here we go. You ready?
No, we have to get smoke. We have to burn something. You have to smoke the bees.
Just smacks it with a stick.
That's exactly what he does. He goes, no, this is better. And he hits all of the hives really quick with his stick and starts running. Alright, get the honey! And he's just screaming, running around.
Okay, I guess I go to the one that has like the most gone and take my dagger, I stab into it, and take a big old comb and run back into town.
You run back, and then like 30 minutes passes, and you see him coming back with more welts. He's like, did you get some?
Yeah, man, you want the honey?
Yes, please.
Just leave me the comb.
Okay.
I hand him the comb.
So all that exchange is going on for the next hour. Are you guys doing anything?
Just gonna.
I'll be pacing back and forth
Just gonna.
where the hunters left.
I'll every once in a while bit. You want a sip of whiskey, Bosh? Calm your nerves a bit.
I'm okay. I just really anxious to see how they're doing.
I understand. I'd be the same way.
I am eating
Taba.
watermelon.
You
Oh,
wanna tell him that you're one of the spoken?
No.
You wanna let him know? You wanna be lifted up by a bunch of kobolds?
When that many people touch me, I accidentally hit them. So I don't want to be rude and accidentally kill anybody.
I don't have a problem being touched. Let's
I'm
take a drink
glad.
of whiskey.
Well, he's talking. I'm just eating the watermelon, but I'm also gonna try to find like an acorn and shell it out. I'm gonna put some like watermelon juice in there and crush the other half of one of my coffee beans up. I'm gonna set it down. I'm gonna get Kiwi out and see if Kiwi wants to have some watermelon coffee.
That sounds disgusting, but Kiwi enjoys it. Kind of like scampers over and then with like tiny hands starts fishing out all the coffee beans and watermelon and just eating it.
You look like you like that. Good. I'm glad, Kiwi. It was an experiment.
Flynn's probably
Sure.
gonna start doing that thing. No, go ahead.
After I get the comb back from the guy, hey, does anybody want some honey on the watermelon?
Oh yes.
Okay, I come with like some little bits of honey from my comb that's been licked and whatever.
Can you put a drop into this little acorn?
Sure. Okay. Take the acorn.
Okay.
Kiwi's just
Let's-
having a sugar caffeine feast.
Flynn's doing that thing that Midoriya does when he just starts ranting off thoughts. Just sitting there with his whiskey. He's like, alright, so if Vile is the reason why this happened, and he's having these people, maybe he's actually trying to help. Maybe he's actually trying to help Muthana, and by doing all of this resetting, he's keeping everybody in check. Keeping them from doing the pieces. But then it must have been a mistake if he did miss a piece. I wonder if he knows Malunbokia and if they're at odds somehow. And if they're at odds somehow, then maybe he can help me deal with her. And then we can help each other. We can save this place, get the planes back to where they're supposed to be. We can get Bosch back to his family.
I'm gonna take a chunk of
Flynn,
watermelon
Flynn.
that I cut up and I'm just gonna shove it into Flynn's face and be like, eat some of this.
Got watermelon up my nose. That's good though. Ugh, frick.
Yeah, you look like you
I'm
need a
gonna
little bit of a brain break.
Reach into my jacket and feel my wrinkles and see if they're getting any better.
The skin around like the wrinkles is super smooth. It's like almost velvety soft. It's very nice, like fresh skin. But the wrinkle's still there.
Okay, I'm gonna try. Oh, I was thinking about doing this the other day, but I think we're safe here. I'm gonna cast Dispel Magic on my armpit.
Okay.
On both. I'm gonna just Dispel Magic. I'm gonna self-hug myself and just Dispel Magic into my pits. See what happens.
Okay.
All your magical clothing is just.
I'm gonna like do it. I'm gonna make sure it's just on the skin, not like through. Well, the only thing that's magical is my hat and my belt.
Yeah. Roll a d20. You dispelled something. You don't know what it is. You still have a wrinkle in your armpit. But something was dispelled.
Do I get the sense? Do I feel more at ease? Like a weight has been lifted off my back, and I'm no longer being watched.
Nope.
Now I'm curious, so I'm just gonna do a ritual casting of Detect Magic right in that spot. Now I'm freaking myself out. And I'm gonna make sure every magical item that's on me is still active.
Yeah, all of your stuff is still enchanted, still
The
magical.
barrette,
Yeah, all of it is still magic.
hat's good, belt's good. Usta, book still floats up.
Yep.
Cool. Am I still a gnome?
Yep.
Just
He's
a black
still
one.
the same age.
Do I have wrinkles everywhere again?
No, everything seems normal.
The wrinkle didn't lessen at all?
No.
Wait a minute. Did the smooth skin go away?
Smooth skin is gone. It is back to your
Frick.
normal skin.
Oh, man.
We thought
I
that you
gotta-
might have like when it started aging again.
No, I think I just canceled the effects of the elixir. I need to get more of that elixir. Well, it didn't really work, but...
Better than nothing.
Oh well, succubuses don't go after me for my pits anyway. I've proven it. Oh, you guys weren't there for that.
Does that happen often?
Succubus? I think it would have if I didn't escape. But no, just one. And then I got teleported into a room, I was tied to a post, and I was like, well, I can't get out of this. Don't know what the intentions are, and I've got plans, so... Yeah. Fun lady, though.
Gotta admit, it's a little bit more exciting than it was when I lived in the forest back home.
It's eventful. Sometimes good, most of the time stressful. Especially here, nowadays. This is nice.
Time passes.
What time is it? Okay, never mind.
It's like mid-afternoon, like 3 o'clock in the afternoon at this point. And you hear, Bosh! As there's a handful of bunny folk running in your direction.
I'll run them.
And you, reconvene with lost family and siblings. The conversation goes through, and for the most part you get that they just kind of found this group, and they've just been staying with them, because they don't know really what else to do here. It seemed like a better fit than some of the cities for them. You do learn that they are unable to go back through the rift into the Feywild. And until that can be figured out, they've been living here.
It seemed like you guys were dragged away by your tracks. Is anyone else that came through not here? Are we missing anyone?
No, so we were dragged. Some of us were captured. Then we had to fight some people. They were like hunters, and they didn't realize that we weren't like normal rabbits, because they hadn't seen us before. So that was kind of an awkward conversation that we had to have. So we're all back together, and then we tried to just get back home. We couldn't get back home. Now we're here.
Did anybody else get hurt by the monsters that came through? I know, one was a basilisk that had frozen the king and queen. I'm not sure how they are. I can't get back home either, but is everybody with you okay? Is there any other ailments or injuries that we need to fix?
Well, there's Jerry. And then they kind of lead you to a direction where there's just like a statue rabbit. We've just kind of been lugging him around.
God damn it, Jerry.
It's always Jerry.
I would have just been like leaning up against Thavo's hip and like reaching the flask up to her for a sip if she wanted one. And then in my mind chuckling to myself because she doesn't know it's a magical flask.
I'll go up to Jerry, not knowing if this will work or not, and cast Lesser Restoration.
Okie dokie. I am unsure if Lesser Restoration works.
Just looking at it, I would assume it probably wouldn't, because it specifically doesn't say.
I think
Well, I don't know.
Greater Restoration does, though.
I'm
Yeah, I
looking.
think it's listed on the basilisk.
I'm only thinking that because I was thinking of Critical Role when they had to do that. I think they used Greater Restoration.
Yeah, it's greater restoration.
Oh, with the map maker.
Yeah.
Would I know Dispel Magic can undo a petrification?
Well, first, Bosch, you cast Lesser Restoration. It does nothing to the statue form of Jerry. Flynn, you start to think of Dispel Magic would work. Make an Arcana check. You know for sure that it will not work. But you do know that Basilisk Petrification and its cures from just research, and you know that Greater Restoration would work, and or there is a unique concoction of Basilisk blood and some other things that will cure the petrification.
There is. If we could find a cleric or some healer that knows a greater restoration spell, or if we can find an alchemist, there are with the use of basilisk blood, an antidote can be made. So this is not a lost cause. Your Jerry can come back. It might take a little bit more time.
So I think it would be best if you guys stuck around here. It seems pretty safe. I mean, that giant's been protecting you fairly well. Has anything crazy, other than almost everything that happens here, anything else crazy happened since you've been here?
The Great Hand's pretty crazy. We've seen that a couple times. That was weird. Outside of that, not really. It's kind of just like a less exciting life, I guess. Trees aren't trying to kill us. And flowers aren't trying to kill us. And that's pretty nice. It's been like a vacation almost. Kind of just at this point want to get back home, though.
Well, me and my friends are working on that. So we'll keep an eye out for a cure for Jerry. Actually, it's kind of nicer this way, though, but I guess we should turn him back to normal.
Yeah, we haven't really been asking. We were fine with him being a statue for now.
You guys remember that time he shit in the well?
Yeah. Fucking Jerry.
We'll put it on the list, but it maybe a little bit down the list of things to do. I'm glad to find you. I've been kind of worried. I haven't seen a whole lot of evidence of you guys being here.
This group's kind of just off the map, it seems like. There's a lot of fighting and wars and stuff going on. Like, once we stumbled upon this crazy giant guy, all these people that like to dance just kind of roamed with the group and were left alone for the most part.
Hey, what's with that weird hip thrusting thing they all do?
I don't know. I think one guy just started doing it and it really caught on.
Well, that makes sense, I guess. But we'll keep an eye out, and we're trying to find a way home. I don't know how successful we'll be, but we're trying.
I mean, that'd be nice. I'd like to go back, especially if we have a cure. Then we could go back and cure everybody else.
Yeah, my brother's handling things while, the king's gone, so everything should be okay when we get back.
Yeah, but with these resets and stuff, do you think when we go back it'll be like 5 million years in the future? We'll have like flying acorns and stuff?
That'd be pretty neat. A little hard to ride a little acorn, though.
You can just grab the stem.
Who knows? It's always been a little crapshoot about time when you go to and from the Fae, though. So it might be. Hey, who knows?
You all spend the next while in these evening hours reconvening, Bosch with your family, and Flynn muttering to himself solutions to a problem that he does not know how to solve. You'll just hang out for the evening. Was there anything else you wanted to accomplish in this community in the woods?
Excuse me. So you've all seen the big hand multiple times.
Yeah, every reset, it's there.
What does it do? Does it just and then go away?
Have you ever pushed your hand against glass? Like how it turns white on the other side, like you're squishing it?
Yeah.
That's kind of what it looks like. Like it's like this hand slowly begins to apparate. Like you see like fingertips first, then the hand starts to like push down, and it's just like this imprint in the sky.
Interesting.
It's like this wild guy. It's like he's holding the continent.
Yeah, we're gonna try. Well, we're gonna try to. Well, they think he's a god. Based on my research, he's just a very powerful mage, but I don't want to tell them that. So I feel like he may be the key. I just really hope he's not a bad man disguised as a good man. So those are tricky. But I do believe he is the key. At least for now. Trying to figure out this mess so we can all go home. I wonder if he knows Maloon Bokia, though, if he was a member of the Academy. Wouldn't it be crazy if maybe he was her teacher at some point, and she branched off and started her own school? And they didn't. They butted heads as much like her and I did. She was a little bit more too cynical and cold. He was a little bit more fun.
He does this sometimes when he's thinking.
I mean, trying to understand a god/wizard man is probably a lot. I don't know. I've never heard him talk.
Maybe he also knows about what's going on in Two Stout, the power source. Wonder what he feels about that. Sorry. Thinking out loud again. The whiskey's getting to my brain.
That is really good whiskey.
Yep, all natural.
That's why it's so good.
Yeah.
Does there seem to be like a schedule when they start dancing, or do they just dance once per location and then move?
You know, Naraz, you can dance when you want to.
But there's no
And
music.
if you want to, you can leave your friends behind to do it.
Because sometimes your friends don't dance.
If they don't, though,
Those ain't no friends of mine.
not mine either.
Alright, well, outside of that, Narias, I think is what he
Sorry,
said.
Jack.
Yeah, they just kind of start out every day like that.
Alright, well, I guess I'm gonna go sleep, and we'll leave in the morning to go to the heist.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry, probably shouldn't have said that.
It's for a good cause, I think.
Then you get murdered by a tribe of earth-loving hippies because you're gonna go heist a bank, and they love banks.
They love it. We're sticking it to the capitalists.
So you all find rest.
We go visit the Madre.
Cool.
Be back in a couple hours.
You all find rest.
Why-oo?
Oyul's coming back in a couple hours. But
Mom's getting a tattoo.
how fancy. We're gonna take our break there before we start the next day as you head into the city. So break time. Hit buttons on YouTube and see what happens. Sometimes you win money if you hit the buttons in the correct order.
Lick and describe if you want to hear more men without hats.
Be back in 5. Hey, we're back on the internet.
Mine's the Janet Jackson song from Nutty Professor too.
You know that Nutty Professor is underneath a romantic comedy on Netflix. It
It
cracks
totally
me
is.
up. I know, but it's just weird. It's just weird.
Everything is Nutty Professor. Trey knows.
Is it like that whole movie where he's like trying to change how he looks or something?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Hey,
Yep.
we're back on the internet, so let's pick up with
Hey,
that.
Internet. How do you feel about Nutty Professor 2 Meet the Clumps? Yay or nay? Just okay or absolute masterpiece? Because it's not bad at all.
Alright, somebody clip Derek saying that, and I'm gonna start out all of the streams with that. How do you feel about Nutty Professor 2?
Watch, that's gonna be what gets this stream super famous.
The cult
Oh,
following
you know
of Nutty
what?
Professor.
I haven't thought of Nutty Professor 2 The Clumps in such a long time. Man, Janet really should have stuck with acting. Anyway.
We're back after an evening of reconnecting Bosch with his family and asking some questions around a tribe or community of people that worship this hand deity that resets crops and fields and replenishes forest for them. A new day has begun.
I had a quick question.
Okay.
The hand that they see, is it like whatever the Hydra's called? Scylla? Is it describing like that? Or a different hand?
I mean, they all seem, and based on the depictions, they seem to be depicting like humanoid hand, like 4 fingers and a thumb hand, which you don't think the Hydra would have.
Okay, that's kind of what I was thinking. Thank you.
Any more questions, or are we off to Gorsdra?
Do you want to take Bosch's family or no?
Well, we don't want to take them, but we do need to find a way to meet up with them in case the community decides to move, Bosch.
I mean, this many people, if we can come back here, I should be able to track, because there's hundreds of people here. They should leave quite the footprint when they travel.
Okay.
Let alone a giant.
True. I just don't know how proficient they are, if they're good at hiding their tracks, if they care to hide their tracks. But.
I am super good at tracking stuff, though, too, so I think we should be able to find him again if we need to.
No, I assume your family is also good at that sort of thing. They can leave clues, make sure they stomp their feet real hard, yeah?
Yeah, I think we should be able to find him pretty good.
Oh god, no, that wasn't a rabbit foot joke. I meant just imprint, like stomp hard that way. I would do it with my gnome boots. I'm not a halfling anymore. My gnome boots.
Len, are you a thumpist?
No, I'm pro thump.
Thump 2024.
Oh.
Alright, y'all get back to the wagon and you're heading to Gorsdra. Travel continues as you do have to traverse multiple rivers and things like that. There is a big obstruction blocking your progression to the city, however. There is a river that runs into the mountain range that you have passed. So there's not really a roundabout. You're left with a 20-foot river. Looks fairly deep, and you have horses and a wagon.
Glenn, can you make the horses fly?
They need to be willing to fly, and they need to have some sort of a. I feel like, probably, but would they go the correct direction and be able to keep their cool?
I can ask them.
Sure, I'm looking through my prepared spells to see if there's another option.
I will
But I don't
ask.
think there is.
I'll use speak with animals, and I'll ask Wee and Sunflower, I'm like, hey, so there's really no way for you to get across the river. How would you feel about flying? Like a horse fly?
They both look very confused. And we starts to like dance excitedly, not really saying anything.
Okay. So flying, just to let you know, if you don't know what that is, you know how like birds, if you've seen birds, they go across the sky? It's like that.
They seem to agree if they are able to fly, then they will fly.
Yep, they're pretty much fine with it. Wee seems excited about the idea.
Alright. I'm gonna get one shot at this, and I can only do this to the horses. So, the rest of you are gonna have to swim and find another way. Are we sure that there's not a way farther down this trail? Seems like this is not an efficient way to have a city if you can't even get to it.
Well, why don't you
Uh.
sit on the horse, bring a rope with you?
What is it with you and tying people to ropes, Stavo?
I just think it's safe.
Assuming we've got the biceps, which we don't. You do. You've got all the biceps. Poker arm, poker.
Well, with the rope on the other side, if it's tied off, we could just hold on to it and the current will just take us across. I mean, all we really have to worry about is something in the water.
Is it something at all? How strong is the current?
It's pretty aggressive. It is a fast-moving river. You get white caps in a few spots. Doesn't seem like the easiest river to just cross like normally.
I say we might have to leave the wagon. Sorry, Narias. Because if they got the wagon, then they're going to be holding a wagon in midair while trying to fly. Which they probably could do, but then what if they don't? And then they fall into the water and drown.
Yeah, I guess that's fine. I just don't. If we're gonna have to carry something out of the heist, I don't know what we're gonna put it in.
Or perhaps we can buy a wagon when we get there. Maybe
And
they
then
got
we'll
another
have
wagon we can use.
2 wagons.
No, there'll be a wagon here for some nice person to take. We're just gonna give this one up. Nice, rare, convertible wagon in the middle of nowhere. It's gonna be a steal.
Okay, I guess.
But I say, I get on a horse, one of you gets on a horse, I make both of the horses fly. We do our best to direct them in the direction we want them to go while flying. We'll take the rope, tie it along, and then the 2 left, the 2 strongest, use the rope to get through the water. I think this is a good mashup of all of our plans.
Like it? There's rope involved.
Yeah, you like that. If I don't get to tie a rope around someone's waist.
Yeah, it sounds like a plan.
So I'll definitely get a horse. Narias and Bosch, which one of you wants to ride a flying pony?
I don't really feel like flying on the back of a horse. I'll just go with the rope.
Bosch, you ready to party?
I'll hop on. Let's party.
Who's on Wii? Who's
Oh.
on Sunflower?
I don't remember which
Jump
one's
on
which.
Sunflower.
Okay.
All right, we'll get them. Make sure they're untied from the wagon.
Okay.
Make sure whatever saddlebags that were on the wagon are now just on the horses. Everything, the wagon is empty. And I'll cast this at 4th level.
Okay.
So I can get 2 creatures. I'll put a hand on Wee. I'll reach over and put a hand on. I'll do Sunflower first, and then Wee, and then they'll start hopefully levitating if they're willing.
Yeah. They start awkwardly like lifting off of the ground and swaying a little bit. They bump into each other a couple times.
Oh, and I'll have one end of the rope, and I guess Thavo will have the other end of the rope.
Okay.
And we try to this way, over the water until we get to the other side.
Okay. Flynn and Bosch both make animal handling checks.
Buddy, that's not terrible. Ooh.
Ooh.
Inspiration.
Okay.
Sick. Glad we got rid of that. I don't need that.
So Sunflower makes it across, makes the little rope dragging of Nereus across the river. You're aggressively skiing now a crazy river. Flynn, Wee is very excited to fly. And fly straight up. And Thavo, you holding onto the rope, it goes taut and you start getting pulled up as well. So now both of you are just like rocketing into the sky on the back of this horse.
Damn we! Damn we!
Just flying all over the sky with like a tail banner of Thavo just like holding onto a rope and swaying from behind it. Bosch and Nereus, both of you make it across the river easily. Flynn and Thavo, for the next 30 minutes, you are flying in the sky above trees, doing like loops and spins. For a minute,
I can show you the world.
for a minute, Wee stops at one of the trees and starts like nibbling at the top of a tree, and then smiles
Alright,
with
I'll
like
just-
giant horse mouse, and then flies up into the air again.
Seriously, there we go. Yeah!
Make another animal handling check.
No! This only lasts for 10 minutes.
Just flying through the sky, end up back across the river, and you know the spell is coming to an end. Still not on the correct side of the river.
Father, you gotta tell Wee that if they don't land, we're going to fall. We won't
Alright.
be able to fly anymore.
Alright, I'll speak to Wee and be like, hey Wee, if you don't land now, you're going to make a big fall and it's going to hurt or you'll die.
You gotta learn it.
You gotta.
Make an animal handling check with advantage, Thavo.
We're done.
I would like to use my inspiration.
A good use of inspiration, as you convince the horse to land just at the last minute, and all of you kind of just like onto the shoreline on the other side, while Bosch and Nereus are just kind of standing there staring at you.
Well, that was a blast. Wee, did you have fun?
He's like trotting in place excitedly.
Flynn, that was the best idea ever.
Well,
We could have like a little kiddie park to where we have flying horses that children get on and make money off
No.
of it.
don't put children on that one. You don't put children on that one. You put children on that one. The one that pays attention, the one that's nice, the one that's not scary, the one that's not an immature pony.
Hey, it's not Wee's fault.
Just kidding.
Oh, Pet
I had
Wee.
fun. I've got Featherfall. We would have been fine. But no, definitely not a child one. More of a teenager and up sort of one. Wee is. Because when you go into the carnival, you've got the kids' rides, you've got the adult rides. Yeah? Wee is an adult ride. Wait. You know what I mean.
Oh.
Successfully making it across the river, you all
Easy.
continue to Gorsdra. Heading down, you begin to see the cityscape start to breach out. An interesting sight from where you're coming. It looks like a very small city, just kind of sitting on a hillside. As you progress up to the main gates of the city, you are greeted with a sprawling city that covers most of the peninsula down here at the bottom. As it all starts like cliffside up top, and then the city descends at a slope down into the ocean and fills like this entire half crater looking thing with a massive city. I will drag you over to what you see. Flynn. Make an intelligence check.
Where the hell did it go? There it is. I am too spooked.
The city seems familiar to you, but you don't know why. Could just be that you've been in a lot of cities, but seems like a familiar city. Entering the gate that we, in this image, have the closest perspective of, you see the harbor down below filled with ships. The city kind of sprawls and wraps around this hillside, this cliff area. You do see a large tower off in the distance that looks like it would be some sort of castle ward or the important people ward. Off on the far side over there. But you all are in Gorsdra. The streets are bustling. It's almost a little chilly for most of you. The street is filled with smoke and steam that kind of billows and folds around corners, almost obscuring a lot of the city from you. But here you are. What are you doing?
Just gonna start, yeah. Suppose we need to find a place to hitch our ponies. See if there's some sort of a... Wow, what do you call those? I'm starting to get a
Stable.
headache over here.
Stable?
Yeah, that's the one. Stable. Find a stable.
Okay. There are...
And then look for the, something drinking. City drinking.
Yeah, there are plenty of stables right around the gate for people to put up horses, because once you get into the entrance of the city, it's almost like a half-cylinder, almost, of an entryway that is very congested and crowded with wagons and horses, but you see all the streets that sprawl off of it are very narrow, not allowing for much street travel by horseback or wagon or other means. But you eventually find a stable, drop the horses off, pay a gold total to have the horses held up for a few days.
And I guess while I'm there speaking to the stableman or lady or person, I'll, can you point us in the direction of city drinking?
That's kind of on the other side of town. It's gonna be close to the harbor ward. If you wrap all the way around and kind of go to the point, there's a little area of bars and interesting places overall.
Wonderful. Thank you so much.
Anytime.
To the harbor ward. This is a nice place. I feel like I've seen it before.
You feel like you've seen it before. How so?
Yeah. Oh, it seems familiar. Could just be the structure. Might just match a city I've been in before. It's odd. Can't put my finger on it. Could just be the way the buildings look.
Well, traversing through the city. Not anything exciting, nothing crazy happening. Just another kind of melting pot of a city, similar to the other ones. Most of the people, as you kind of follow the harbor itself to wrap around, seem to be more in poverty opposed to the rest of the city. This doesn't seem like the most balanced city as far as wealth spread goes. A lot of people running like food stands, bread stands, fish stands, kind of all over the place, and you see handfuls of like what used to be stores in between all of these houses that you're walking through that are currently closed or have notes or wooden planks hammered over the doors. They've all been shut down. And you continue to progress through the city. For the first time in any of the cities, you do see active guard walking through Gorstra. There are patrols making their way through the streets, very thin in this specific area that you're walking through. And as you get more to the opposite side of the harbor from where you came in, you see that the patrol is a little bit more. You see guards more frequently and more aggressively on this side. Making your way to the north side, you do eventually find a bar with this massive, what looks like the stern of a boat, the little figurines that are carved onto it, like protruding over the door. This large, like beam kind of protrudes from the front, and there is a wood carving of a woman like holding a vase, half mermaid, typical seafaring design. And you have found the bar called City Drinking.
Do the guards look healthier than the average person on the street? Like, they get a little bit more food than normal people?
Make a perception check. And it is very hard to tell through all of their coverings, clothings, like the condition. Most of the guards are like fully plated out, like paladin style. Lots of heavy chunks of armor and full helms that cover the entire face. So you don't really have a visual to tell if they're doing better than others. But they do seem to be very unified and have specific patrols that they're on.
Is it safe to assume that there's just more here because we're closer to the harbor and ships? Or just because this is a more poverty type of area?
Make an insight check. Not a clue.
Bosch and I know so much about the city.
I like the series of like the past 8 rolls. There's a lot of good numbers in there.
I mean, if you add them all up, it's pretty good.
They don't add up to too much.
Are we inside?
Are you going inside? You found the bar.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
There's a bunch of questions. Okay.
Yeah.
You walk into City Drinking. Very similar to Bar with Ale in its design. A centerpiece bar that is a large circle that kind of fills up the main area. And instead of a fighting pit in the back, you see that there are different card tables, and like people are gambling in this back room, where the rest of the establishment is filled with tables and chairs. A very nautical theme in here. You see lots of waiters and waitresses dressed like sailors walking around and serving tables. And at the bar you see an older human man that kind of like in the process of cleaning one of the mugs and putting it back down, looks up at the door as you walk in. Oh hey, there they are. It's the traders from Yavin. Come, come, come.
Alright.
You all progress over to this older gentleman. So I'm Greg. I know we haven't had the pleasure of meeting. Nice to meet all of you. And he reaches out to shake all of your hands.
Flynn Uric and Cecilio Kai.
Savo, just Savo.
I'm Bosch.
I'm Norias.
Pleasure. It's a real pleasure. Really excited to get business going. Here, have a ale on the house, and we can go do some business. Hey, Claudia, cover the bar? Sure. Right on. You see he pours 4 ales, slides them to you. Follow me into the back room.
All right, I'll follow him back.
Yeah.
You all follow him into this back room that is like a small office. Paperwork scattered everywhere. It looks like a mess, like he is the least organized person in the world. And he kind of like pushes them all to one side. You see papers falling off the side of the desk and sits behind it. Welcome. You guys just walked through the front door. Crazy kids.
I keep up the appearances that we're just normal, everyday folk looking to have a drink.
I mean, to be fair, nothing about you looks normal for this area. You guys stick out like a sore thumb.
Yeah, we didn't really know what we needed to do, and I just like this jacket.
It's a pretty nice jacket.
Thank you.
So y'all ready to rob a bank?
I think so. This one's got all sorts of ridiculous ideas, but I figured we would listen to your pitch first.
Oh, I don't have an idea.
Okay, so then my idea was they go invisible.
Well. He probably at least knows what the building looks like more than we do.
Oh, that's true. Never mind. Go ahead.
Yeah, so here's the blueprints we have so far of the bank. We have some people that work inside. And he lays out this piece of paper that displays a bank. It looks like this. So, typical bank stuff. You have all these different kiosks that people wait on. There are some offices in here. The people I know did not have access to those. I do not know what's in them. But behind, there are staircases that lead up and down. We assume the vault is going to be down. Heavily guarded. Outside of the front doors, there are windows scattered around the bank on the front half. All of which are barred. And guard is pretty frequent in the area.
Any sort of back entrances that anyone's aware of?
There are no doors, if that's what you mean.
Just the one.
Correct.
Just the one front door.
There's the front door, and there's the windows on the front half. So, if you check out right here, it kind of like marks this center area, this divider between the stairs and the main lobby. That's a massive steel door that is held together with some sort of combination lock. I don't know if it's keys or combination. I think it's combination. I didn't see any keyholes.
Do you have any idea what brand the lock might be?
you'd probably have to talk to a blacksmith to figure that out. But I would recommend if you talk to anybody to discern things like that, I want to pay them a lot of coin to keep their mouth shut.
So I imagine there's from time to time they have people coming in with wagons of gold to be put in, yes? Through the front door?
Well, the streets are a little bit crowded for wagons. Most of the big transfers that you'll see in the bank are done by the mage sort. They use like pocket dimension, stuff like that, load up all this wealth, and then transfer it into the bank. You can typically tell which ones they are because they are surrounded by half a dozen guards.
How often do they have those people come?
It's not super frequent. Typically like one big deposit, maybe a month.
And I imagine, do you know when the last one was?
The last one we saw was maybe 2 weeks ago.
So probably a couple of weeks before again. Probably don't want to wait that long.
Probably. The bank itself is used by a lot of the higher up the royal family themselves and some of the bigger traders, the people that own the harbors, stuff like that. You know, the rest of us don't really have enough money to be thrown into a bank, nor want to make the trip up the hill to get to it. I guess I could tell you that too. The bank is located up in the Royal District, and it's called the Royal Vaults.
Are they open every day or have like walking hours or something like that?
Oh, they're off on Sundays. That's the Lord's Day.
Which lord?
I'm just kidding. They're open every day.
Oh, good.
They only work half days on Saturdays.
Do they store large, like, boxes or something? Like, could we put somebody in a box and would they store it, or do they only store small gold amounts?
I am unsure of what is exactly stored in there. I don't know if it's large crates of equipment and stuff like that. I've only seen, like, money transfers. But I'm sure some of the families, some of the higher-ups will store bigger equipment and stuff like that, so you'd have to ask around.
How likely would they be to open a new account for a rich outsider?
I mean, if you have the coin, I'm sure they'd be more than happy to open an account.
How much do you think is a lot for this bank?
Probably northward of like a couple 100,000.
Damn, not quite that wealthy.
What if, Flynn, we dipped you in gold and we pretended that you were a fancy artifact that I have and I could be a business lady and been like, I would like to store my gnome statue here.
I mean, it's not that bad of an idea.
So he likes it.
Like I said, they do store probably like large objects and stuff like that that the family doesn't want to just have out in the open.
Well, my first thought was if we could do something like that, where maybe Narius is some sort of a rich, or one of us is some sort of a rich fancy pants. Thabo is the hired muscle to go in and start a bank account. Well, I guess maybe a gold man. I was thinking invisible in a suitcase. But either one. Could be a way in. Getting out, though. I don't have teleportation capabilities quite yet. That would be the difficult part.
We could get in, wait for them to open again, the mages. You just bring enough supplies to last the month in there. And then, when they open it, cast invisibility and come back out.
No, not staying 2 weeks in the vault. We'll find a way out. Okay. Or... Okay. Bosch can be the rich fancy pants. Thavo's the muscle.
Before we go any further, I think these people are working with people far richer than we're used to. Wouldn't they just have people to go deal with this for them? I mean, we don't have to have a rich person in general. We could just be representing somebody.
That's a good point. You're the
Look-
representative. Thavo's the muscle. I'm
Quick
gold.
question. Is there any rival banks in the area as well?
I mean, there's a couple of smaller banks. They're more for, like, holding sentimental objects for people, like wills, deeds, savings accounts for some of the, you know, middle-class families around here. Nothing's gonna be in comparison, though, to the Royal Vaults. I mean, that's the big time.
Is there like a royal family around here, or like some royal people that are like, oh man, I really hate those other royals?
Not really. They all seem pretty chummy. But you're asking somebody that lives down in the harbor.
What do
Not
you
quite
get out
sure.
of this? What do you get out of this?
Oh, I'm getting paid.
Okay.
And what all do we... What all exactly are we taking out? How much? I know there's something we're looking for. Was there anything more? Magda was a little...
I think it's whatever Magda's looking for.
Okay.
There's nothing more that I have that you need to get out.
Okay.
If you get Magda's job done, then I get paid from Magda. I'm just here
Gotcha.
to gather this information and give you what I have.
Do you have any information about magical traps that may be going on inside of the vault? Anything like that?
None of my people have been in the vault, so I am unsure about magical traps. Once you get past that vault door, you're on your own.
Gotcha. Well, I was thinking that we'd have to be quick about this. Well, maybe not. I'm just trying to think of how many spells I can use at one time. Nereus has got the skills to crack a lock. I have the skills to make him invisible for 1 minute.
Nereus, what kind of tools did you bring for this vault door?
Just the standard thieves' tools. Nothing too special.
You might need something a little bit more than that. I'll reach out to one of my contacts in the city, see if I can get something put together for you. If you want, I have this, and he kind of like shuffles under the desk and pulls out this crate, filled with like loaves of bread. You see some sort of like vegetables that are wrapped in some sort of like sealing material that you're unsure of what exactly it is. You've not seen it before. If you want to take this to Rose, she's one of the tellers at the bank. Tell her it was from me. Just say I was repaying my debt or something like that. At least give you a reason to go in and check out the bank yourself. Get some eyes on it.
Sounds like a plan. What time is it?
It's later afternoon.
All right. I guess I'll go with this and check it out. Thavo, I might take you, cause you have your eagle eye. You might be able to see what mechanism the vault uses, or at least what it looks like.
I can do that. I can be the muscle. I
don't
think
know
one
if
of us could
Bosch
apply for
Flynn-
a job here.
I haven't really brought this up, but technically, I'm a prince.
I was
my
gonna
dad
ask
is
about that, but I didn't want to pry.
Yeah, so my dad was king when he was frozen. My older brother Ishmael is now the crown prince. I'm not so hot on lying. I can't really lie too well, but I mean, being a prince does have some value to it if we needed to get into a bank.
Oh, like,
Very much so.
what do like king and queen rabbit folk like? What makes them like kings and queens and rich?
They rule the tribe.
Okay.
We are from the Feywild. There's all kinds of stuff that would be valuable here that's not common here, but it's quite abundant. I mean, I know this tribe of bears that have this honey that everybody really likes.
What sort of honey? From a beehive type of thing?
Sort of. It's different.
I like honey. Kiwi really got a good taste for honey the other day, so I would like to try more honey. Or do you have anything on you that would be super rare here?
Not really, but usually we would send an envoy before a king or queen does anything to pave the way for what they need once they get here.
Oh, what if it was like, I'm Bosch, a fancy rabbit prince. I would like to investigate the security of your facility before putting my goods here.
Yeah, if my mom and dad were coming, we would have to check the place out to ensure that they'd be able to keep all their stuff safe.
I think that might be the plan. I'll give this to Rose if we get there.
If we can find a way to put some rope in this plan, there is no way it will fail.
I will tell you, you talked about applying for a job there. Might not be the best idea. Anybody that applies for the Royal Vaults is thoroughly background checked and also asked a series of questions by some mages that compel them to tell the truth.
Yeah, makes sense. I've got a good handful of illusion magic that we can use for distractions if, things get weird. But I suppose you two just want to go scope it out and let us know what you think, and then we can come up with a more solid plan.
Should I dress fancier?
Well, if we're traveling, I would need somebody strong and pretty brutish to protect, our caravan.
That's why I say you'd be like the hired mercenary in this scenario. And no one would question it. They'd be like, yeah, no, biceps.
You got big biceps. See me catch that watermelon from a giant? They're good biceps.
So,
Yeah.
Bosch would be the prince. He's checking this out for his king mother, or queen mother and king dad, and then I'll give the crate of food to Rose, right, Greg?
Sounds like a plan. Bosch, do you have, paperwork or anything that actually shows you are some sort of royalty?
Vin has illusion magic. Maybe he might be able to conjure something up.
I don't. I have a birthmark, but that doesn't mean anything to anybody else.
Yep.
I guess they could interrogate me if they really wanted to.
I doubt they'd do it on the spot. They'd probably set up an appointment or something like that. But that could be a plan. Just letting you know, they'll probably check for that stuff.
Len, you always have fancy paper. Maybe we can just write down some fancy stuff.
I don't know anything about royalty. Good.
Do you think they have some sort of DMV here where we can get some paperwork?
The lines are always super long. That'll at least take a week of your time to get through that line, fill out all the paperwork.
And at that point, we might as well just wait an extra week for the mages to enter the vault.
probably ran by sloth people anyway.
I think it is.
Well, I like the prince idea.
Lynn, would that be something that you could do? Conjure up some royal papers?
Not really. It would be very temporary, and if anyone were to look at it hard enough, they could see. I don't have. I know there is forgery magic, but mine is more of. Look over there. There's a creature, and it really looks real.
Well, what if you were like, look over there, there's a really big document.
I feel like that'd be the waste of a high-level spell. If I'm being honest.
Just over there on the wall, my papers of authenticity.
I can make it small, but that's a third-level spell. I'd rather save that for being like, oh, now there's a bear in here. Now everyone's distracted. Run.
Maybe we didn't ask. There's a lot of steam and stuff around here. Is there steam vents and maybe sewer tunnels below the bank at all?
There are down here. There's lots of runoff from the upper city. Runs down into the harbor.
I mean, if we could figure out if there's anything from the bank, I mean, that would be a way out. I know it wouldn't be pleasant, but maybe even rich people poop.
True.
I think the only sewage line from the bank itself is on that right side connected to the lobby. There's like a restroom over there, so I imagine that would be the only tunnel into the bank. But that's not going to get you even past the tellers, though. Just put you in the lobby. Covered in shit.
While we are in there, Flynn, you can make Kiwi invisible, and we see the door open. Kiwi can run through the door. I'll give her a little backpack of jerky and coffee beans for some rations before we get in. She can scope the place out.
And?
I mean, just by the time we get inside, she can meet us at the door, and she could take us to where we need to go quickly.
I mean, just so you know, the bank is gonna be protected pretty well from familiars and critters like that. They are well aware of the tricks mages use.
Oh, well, Kiwi's not a familiar. She's just a friend.
Yeah, but you might have a dead mouse then.
Oh, never mind. Don't want to do that.
I think we don't have to do any of the Bosch Prince thing just to scope it out. I think we can literally just go in there, give the crate to Rose, and Thavo, you can look at the safe.
I mean, if we're gonna do the Prince idea eventually, I probably shouldn't go in at all unless I'm with Bosch.
Yeah, I should stay out of sight while you're scoping it out.
Okay. Alright, well, I guess I'm gonna go instead of wasting time. Does anybody want to follow me there, but not go in, or do you want me to just go alone?
I mean, Bosch, you and I want to go walk around that area. Just in general, see what the fancy toady people act like, so you can act more like them.
Well, I am from the Feywild, so any peculiarness I could always explain off that way, but I'll definitely disguise myself to look different, because they need to believe I haven't been here very long. But Narias, if you want to kind of check it out now, I think that would probably be the best idea. You'd have a reason to be there with the box of food for Rose.
All right. I guess I'll head over there. I grab the box of food and start making my way up to the royal side of town.
Okay. It's quite a trek for you. You have like an hour of travel up a hill into the Royal District. Narias, you, upon getting into the Royal District, see that there is a large gate with around a dozen guards hanging around the gate. Some are posted up top, some are just outside. All of them watch you as you walk into it. You are better dressed than most, so nothing gets thrown your way as far as an inquiry of why you're even coming up here. But carrying the box, you wander around the Royal District. The guard is picked up by a lot in this area. There are guards on every corner, and you see them kind of rotating through alleyways in a consistent fashion, like moving to each other's posts and just kind of covering all the corners and alleyways in this district. You eventually find the bank in the center of like a large clearing area. Its back is to like a solid stone wall, and around it is about like 15 feet on either side before another building starts. But it almost like protrudes out of the wall as this large bank. Walking up, you see that there are guards on either side of the door. You open the doors up into the lobby. You see there are 5 people just kind of hanging out in the lobby. There's a couple people having a discussion at a table over on the right side of the bank. And all of the teller booths are filled. Now you can see just from walking in, there is this massive steel iron looking vault that is sealed. What are you doing?
I guess I walk up to the tellers and ask, hey, does a Rose work here? Rose?
Yes, sir. She does. She'll be down there in the third one. And kind of points to you. I'll switch you back to the other one so you can kind of see where you're at. He points at the third one that's like right here in this corner.
Okay, thank you. I walk down to that one.
Okay.
And say, hello, Rose, this is from Greg. He wanted to pay some of his debt.
About time you paid some of that. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Yep, no problem. How long have you been working here?
8 months? Something like that?
8 months, huh? And how long have you known Greg?
Oh, longer
And
than
while all she's talking, I'll like try to look at the vault a little bit, just like over her head or behind her or whatever, and see maybe if I can see a symbol or anything on it.
Yeah, while she is explaining her relationship with Greg, make a perception check.
Nice. These rolls are great, dude.
You do have an inspiration point.
I'm going to use that.
Okay.
Please.
3 nat ones in a
Here we
row.
Asha's the only one that has one left.
Investigating the vault. You kind of look over their shoulder as she's... Oh, we've known each other for a few years now. We kind of grew up in the same neighborhood and stopped speaking for a while, then became buddies. And while you're looking at the vault door on the back, you see there is a series of, like the turn knobs to unlock it, whatever those are, like dial locks. You count 4 of them around the main door handle that is also like a giant spinning wheel. This is not a type of safe that you've had to get into before, but you get the make of it and how it works. But you know if you were to get in here, you would have to figure out a combination for 4 separate locks. And if you go into it without any information, probably take a long time.
Yeah, not a minute. Oh, well, that's nice. I just met Greg. I was in the bar and he just asked me to do this for him. So, I guess I'm gonna go now. Thank you.
Have a good one.
You too. I guess walk out. Crap. I guess I go back to to where everybody else is. Just to, like, relay the information.
Okay.
Or actually, before that, I will go to a blacksmith, like Greg was saying. Is there a blacksmith around here? Like a good one, not like a horseshoe one.
Yeah, so up here there are very, crafty blacksmiths. These are, like, the better of the blacksmiths in the city, in this royal district. There are a couple here. You see one that is a building with smoke kind of pluming out of the chimney on the back, like this massive chimney. And then another one that seems to be like an open-faced blacksmith.
I guess I walk in.
To the inside one with the chimney or the open-faced one?
The inside one with the chimney.
Okay. You walk in with your cane and your fancy appearance, and as you walk through, there is a gnomish man behind a counter that also has bars in front of it. Oh, hello, good sir. Welcome, welcome. Can I help you with something today?
Yes, I am opening a bank, and there was a bank, the bank of the Royal Vault. I say the Royal Vault Bank or whatever, and I see the fine, beautiful craftsmanship on the vault there, and I would like to get one for my bank.
We could...
Sick, and my freaking Roll20 did the same thing again. Okay,
They
I'm
see
back.
through your lies and you get disintegrated.
You explode. He kind of nods. Do you have dimensions for a door? I was the one that made that vault door. Thank you for complimenting my work. Do you have dimensions, or how secure would you like it to be? I can do up to 12 separate dial locks.
12. I think 12 might be a little bit overkill. I think 4 is a good number. Just by looking at the vault in that bank, what was like the rough dimensions of it? Was it about like 10 foot by 10 foot?
Yeah, it covered about that area.
Okay. I think 10 foot by 10 foot. And I want it to open in. Wait, no, this one opens out just by looking at it. I want it to open out.
Very well. It is quite a process. It'll probably take me a few weeks to get this one done, to acquire the materials needed, and then all the delicacies of fixing the dial locks and making sure all the mechanisms work.
Would you have a rough price?
That'll probably run about 5,000 gold.
Alright, I might have to talk to an associate about that. Thank you.
Yes, of course.
I will be back soon if I can afford it. If not, I won't. Alright, thank you.
Okay, you head out. Anything else you want to do in the Royal District before you head back to City Drinking?
I don't think so.
Okay. You start heading back to City Drinking. Another hour passes. Bosch, Flynn, and Thavo, you've had round about 2 hours of alone time while Marias was on this trip. Is there anything you all are doing? Or are you just waiting for Marias to come back?
Mainly just looking through my spell book, trying to come up with the best idea for which ones to prepare for this thing, thinking of plans.
Greg, these mages that they use for these banks, are they from a particular place in town?
I think they're kind of from all over. I don't know any of them personally, so I don't know if they're like out of a certain school or something like that, but they're moderate
These are all-
mages. They're not like time bending, wish casting, flying around the sky mages, but they're moderate.
The only thing I suppose maybe if I could find some sort of a magic shop that's got some sort of a spell scroll of a pocket dimension, I could learn it and perhaps pose as one of these mages.
There are plenty of magic shops. I'm sure if you're looking for a spell or components, we got shops around here that'll have them.
Right. And come up with a story to get in and out. I've been working on the wrong spells. There's too many options whenever you're learning magic.
Question for you, Greg. If the bank were to catch fire, is it magically protected, or is there some sort of fire group that will come and put the fire out?
I mean, the bank's overall stone. Like, the front walls are solid rock. They're not very thick, but like that back half of the bank is decently thick of stone. I don't know if there'd be a lot that would burn in there. I can't say it's ever caught on fire, so I don't know. You can try it out. You can go set something on fire in there and see what happens.
No, I was just thinking if we can't get in to somehow get the stuff out in transit, if some sort of damage to the building would make them evacuate everything and start transferring it somewhere safer.
If you're trying to open an account, ask them. They'll have those answers if you get that far. They'll know what their safety precautions are. Anything else? Because I got a bar to front. I don't want to be gone too long and people get curious.
Okay, we'll discuss and come up with an idea. Thank you, Greg.
Yeah. We do have a private room in here for higher ups that want to rent a room and not be a part of the normal folk. Y'all can use that if you want to discuss more in private.
Thank you.
Anytime. Kind of walks you all back out. Pours another round of ales for the three of you and points like over on this side wall. You see that there is like this curtain doorway that behind it is a solid wood door. So you could have it open and like still closed, shielding like visual into the room, but still hear what's going on out there, or you could close it for a completely private conversation.
So I don't think getting in is going to be the challenging part. Getting out is going to be the challenging part. And odds are, inside the vault, if there's not a bunch of guards, there's a bunch of magic. And I, for one, don't feel like killing a bunch of guards who are just doing their jobs. Could maybe try to find a sleep spell scroll, possibly knock them out.
Well, any commotion we make in there is going to bring a lot of guards from the city on us, too.
Perhaps. Unless, of course, it's so thick that it might be soundproof.
But I'm sure there is some sort of a magical alarm that they can do. If they use mages to transport the money, there's no reason to believe that they wouldn't use some sort of a magic to keep it safe. I could try to even see if there's some sort of a dimension door spell I can learn, but they could have runes in there that prevents teleportation. So then I'd be stuck. Did Greg say that they were open all hours?
If you asked him like about specific hours, they're open like sunrise to like dinner time, like 6, 7 o'clock in the evening. Then they close overnight. But they're open every day.
Could perhaps go in during the day and lay low. If you want to... I mean, I can disguise myself to look like a golden gnome, but if they touch me, they'll know that I'm not a golden gnome. I'm a normal gnome that looks gold. I can also just be invisible, but that would have to be very quick, and I have a feeling the process of you getting in and trying to open the vault and me running in wouldn't be fast either. If Nereus has the capability to undo that lock, I can make him invisible while he does it, and hope that he can get it open within a minute, and inside, and hope at that point that there's nobody in there that's going to chop his head off.
At this point, Nereus does come back into the bar. As you walk in, Greg is pouring you an ale and sits it on the counter. Thanks for delivering that. I think your friends are in that side room. I don't know if you guys moved in there or just at the bar.
I assume you'd be in the eating room, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, he points out the room to you, Nereus, so you know where your group is.
Okay, thank you. As I move in. Guys, this one is gonna be rough. Upon looking, it's a dial mechanism, and there are 4 dials on the side of the safe. I couldn't get the exact brand, but I did speak to the blacksmith that created it, and he will be willing to make me an almost exact replica for 5,000 gold pieces. Now, at that point, I could practice multiple times over and get to under a minute, but it is 5,000 gold pieces. And upon looking, I have invisibility, and mine lasts 1 hour, but someone else would have to crack the lock, and it would not be me cracking the lock, but we would have more time.
But how long would it take to make that safe?
He said it would take a couple weeks.
And at that point, we might as well try to sneak in with the mages. Well, maybe. Let me take a look at my...
I have... Okay.
Hold on. Continue. I'm going to open up my book of wizard spell, 5e wizard spells, and see what I might be able to learn.
Or we could sneak in with the mages. Since my invisibility lasts 1 hour, I could invisibility-ize both of us. And we can walk in with the mages, I guess somehow open your bag of holding, put the Scaladorth in it, and then leave.
I was playing with the idea of posing as one of these mages and acting like I need to go in to retrieve an item
I would
for
assume
one of
they
the
are.
family members.
I'm assuming they are a close group. I doubt they just have any random mage join them.
That's what I kind of want to figure out. I assume that too, but at the same time, could just be whoever they hire. Keep them out of the loop for certain things.
It sounds like our biggest problem is getting in and out of the vault, right? What? They normally store stuff in and out of the vault. Chests, items. What if we were to store a chest? Maybe not a big size chest, but big enough somebody could be in it. I mean,
They would
didn't you say you...
they would inspect it thoroughly. I doubt they would just let any chest in there.
I mean, you're really good. You
Ooh.
know a lot about false bottoms. Maybe we put a false bottom in it.
Now I love that idea.
I can see if we can find a magic shop that's got a knock spell that can unlock anything.
Now, would that work for individual locks? Because there seems to be 4 on this safe. Or would you have to cast it 4 different times?
I assume I'd probably have to cast it 4 different times, but if I save enough spell slots, I could do it.
And how long would that take?
It's instantaneous.
That would work. We could both be invisible for an hour. You crack open the lock with your magic.
And with my invisibility, it only lasts a minute, but I can stay invisible while casting spells.
And your bag of holding, it can hold whatever this Scalador thing is, right?
Oh yeah.
You guys were saying something about a lead box.
Well, that was when we were storing it,
Okay.
so that no one could scry upon it.
Well, then, how many people can you make fly?
2.
Never
But if I
mind.
do that, I can't go invisible.
I was just thinking of an escape plan, because we can't just walk out. Even if we do get in and out, there's gonna
What if-
be tons
what
of
if-
people looking for us.
If we were invisible, it wouldn't matter.
If we can get a hold of it without alerting anyone, then we're good to go.
But I bet there's probably some magic alarm system that goes off the moment we even touch the Scaladorth, assuming that it's the most valuable thing in there.
Perhaps. But I can put on my magic spell, the detect magic spell, to feel it. I can try to dispel it and disarm it.
DM, how wide across and long was like the lobby of the bank?
The lobby width-wise was maybe 20 feet, 25 feet, and like length-wise was closer to 50. It's a pretty spacious lobby. It was a nice establishment. It had like 3 tables on the right side, and then there was a little cubby hole that led to another room that you assume is that right side bathroom.
If an alarm does go off, I can cast darkness and put the entire lobby of the bank into complete darkness. Nobody can see through it, even if they have dark vision.
That would at least give us a chance to run past them.
Yeah, to run past the people in the lobby, but the guards outside, I don't know how we would get past them.
Well, at that point, no one would have seen us go in, no one would have seen us come out. They would assume we were just regular
Still
people
in
among
there.
the crowd. And then we could, theoretically, saunter away, casually.
I think you're forgetting the explosion in the background while you're walking away in slow motion.
No, we're not doing that.
You
I'm
figure
not
out how
gonna
to do that part.
I just throw a fireball over my shoulder, flip him off with my other hand.
We'll also have to do the heist preparation montage.
Hold on, we gotta come up with a plan in secret, not tell anyone, execute it, and then recap it all in the next, like, 2 sessions. Alright. I feel like we've got bits and pieces of a lot of different ideas. Let's try to make one solid plan.
So if you saved all of your spell slots, right, and
Yeah.
opened all 4 locks, would you have another spell slot to make yourself invisible, or would I have to keep you invisible the whole time?
I can still make myself invisible. With that particular spell.
I think keeping us invisible and you opening the crazy lock.
Can you keep me invisible while I do stuff, though?
Yes. Yes.
Casting doesn't break the invisibility? What kind of... I know some invisibility will get broken if someone actually, like, does an action.
Yeah,
Spell
so
ends
I think
for
if
a target that
if I-
attacks or casts a spell.
yeah, so if you were to use that on Flynn and he casts a spell, then it'll negate the invisibility.
Even if I'm still touching him?
Correct, yeah, you'd have to cast it again after he cast a spell.
You need an eyelash encased in gum wrapping.
So, I mean, I could make myself invisible for a minute. You and I just have to go real fast. I can doop, unlock the safe. Hope no one notices. Get in, and then the invisibility would drop. Probably.
And then I would invisible you, because you wouldn't have to cast anything else, right? We just get in, get out.
At that point. Assuming, now, if this safe is protected by an arcane lock, which I don't think it is, but if it is, it will relock itself after 10 minutes. That's also assuming we can even find this spell. We might just want to do a little shopping. See what we have at our disposal and then come up with a more concrete plan. But I feel like we're on the right track. This is very complicated, but I feel like we're getting somewhere. Not bad for a bunch of people who aren't thieves. I don't know about you, Naraz, but or Thava, or Bosch, but I'm not a thief.
I'm not a thief of this caliber.
I don't think I've ever stolen a thing in my life. Except maybe
Oh.
lives.
Bosch, the Prince of Thieves. Imagine that.
A
Sounds
safe.
like a good movie, like a third of a movie series. It's not as good as the first or second one.
Safe of this caliber, I would have to practice on for quite a while before I could do it instantaneously.
I mean, we're not necessarily in a hurry. I mean, hell, they've been waiting on us to get here for a couple months anyway. No, a couple weeks. It has not actually been months anymore.
What if you were to go to the you know, the guy that's making the door and just say you need to show one of the combination locks to some of your investors for the bank? That way you'd have a chance to work on the locks to be able to, you know, open them.
That would work, but I don't know if he has one just lying around. So we would have to go to the actual bank if that's. And I don't think they would allow that. He would have to make up a mock.
Yeah, I'm just saying it would be quicker than 2 weeks
Making a
and
whole
not
safe.
cost $5,000.
I mean, yeah.
You know, the D&D player in me is just screaming every plan I've ever committed to just goes to shit immediately.
Pretty much, yep. That's why I'm kind of happy I'm just a hit hard person in this scenario.
It's just there would be so many things we'd have to do all correct. And then there'd be guards outside and we wouldn't be able to do anything for them. I feel like we'd be able to get the safe open, get the Skeletorth, but then an alarm's gonna pop. There's no way there's not an alarm. And then
Well,
we
I
have
can detect magic and sense if there is a magical alarm, and if there is, I can dispel it.
Yeah, but then that's another. Is that another spell point, or is that a?
Oh yeah, it is.
Well, so
But
we know
these are
that
the spells that these are the spells that we need to have. The goal is to not fight, so I can swap out my offensive spells for illusion and utility spells.
we all also know the virtual D&D dice gods are not that friendly to poor people.
Yeah.
Not today.
I think that we're coming back.
Coming back around. Dice are gonna pick up steam.
Okay. We can go to the blacksmith and see if he can whip up a mock-up in 1 to 3 days, or if he has one on hand that maybe an inspector could come see.
What if we go to the sewer system and we just dig a hole up?
The Greg was saying that the pipes probably don't go under the safe. They just go under the lobby.
Well, then we dig from where we can get to the lobby and just dig more and more.
And who knows? I doubt the pipes are enough to fit a human. I think Kiwi would be the only person to be able to fit in a small sewage pipe.
We'd have to break some pipes. We dig a hole. It's a lot of digging.
That would take up to 3 weeks, and we could just go in as the mage, right?
Maybe. Or there's magic for everything. There's magic for digging. There's magic for locking. There's magic for unlocking. There's magic. Remember when I flew? Made myself look like a witch?
What if
Whatever
you
we
just
need,
go
we
in
can
as the
probably-
witch?
We should. Oh, that'd be funny. I'd probably die. I mean, they'd be scared out their wits. We hit up the magic shops. We see what scrolls are available, which ones we can find, which ones we can afford. See if there's anything that sounds useful, and then we discuss, and then we see, if I can find a knock spell, well then I can unlock the vault. If I can find some sort of a move stone about type of thing, we can start digging,
And now, who's to say those spells won't be as expensive as that other shop that we went to?
Nothing. But
That
we can build a shop.
850,000 gold piece spell that we
You
would have
remember
to
that?
buy, and then we might as well. Oh crap! Who's
But I
to
mean,
say the
everyone-
spell isn't super expensive? The safe itself might be less money than.
It doesn't hurt to look. I'm saying it'd be quicker to just go shopping real quick and just see what they have.
I always
That way we
love
can-
shopping. We can do that.
That way we can just eliminate these ideas. Then go on to something a little bit more concrete.
Then Greg opens the door and he goes, "What if, hear me out, we tie a rope to somebody and drop them through the ceiling?"
That would be a good movie.
Greg gets it.
Well, is there an upstairs window?
No.
Well, what the hell? Well, if it's
What
made
if-
of stone and I get a magic that can move stone, then we can rappel down, stop just 2 inches from the ground, catch a sweat driplet. It'd be very stressful, very cinematic. Mission Impossible.
I just imagine you'd be like Kronk from Emperor's New Groove.
Or you know, that's story Ocean's 11. Didn't they make a whole mock-up of the casino?
Yeah, but they were able to film it and make it look like that it was happening in real time.
Yeah, and then they could also practice a bunch too.
We don't have any type of DVR set up. I don't think there's a spell for that.
Just bring a GoPro from a different reality.
I mean, I can make an illusion, make it look like someone is robbing the vault, and then they go in, but
Do you still
then they're
have
gonna be
any?
like, "Oh, nobody's robbing the vault," but someone's up to something.
Do you still have some of that gold that's alive? Old naked man.
Oh, I remember.
Mm.
Were you there, or was that Pharaoh?
I was shadowboxing.
Oh yeah,
I wasn't there.
that's right. This is the only time I'm ever the original one. Like, doesn't fit. I'm usually the one that doesn't know what you people did.
All right, let's go shopping. I always love shopping around the better areas.
I don't think I kept that gold. I can't remember now.
I think we had put it in the metal box that was stolen when they stole the Scaladorth.
That's right, because that's where the Dispel Magic Spear was as well. The only thing, yeah, because I took the bag of holding out, but left everything else in.
Funny how useful that spear would be only once we don't have it.
It was useful when we had it.
I'm gonna make sure I have my ears and face covered for the rest of the time we're in the city.
Okay. Good to know. As you all kind of wrap this up and plan on doing some shopping, it is evening time now. You all have been talking for quite a while in this bar, brainstorming ideas. So it is dark in the streets. You do see
In the morning.
the streets, as you kind of walk out of city drinking, are illuminated with some sort of like gas lanterns, like on the corners of the streets. So it does give some lighting to the city, and almost like eerie, very like old-timey London looking scenery where there's like just steam billowing like from around corners and pushing into light sources. A lot chillier in the evening. You're covered up. Are you going to find a place to stay, or are you going to look and see if any of the shops are open?
If it's nighttime, I would say, you can just, if we wanted to just wind down, pint. He offered us a place to stay here, right? Or was that just to meet?
Just to meet. He does not have rooms in this bar.
So we find a place to stay, do some shopping in the morning, and come up with a more concrete plan. But I like our heads. I like where they're going. Gears are turning in the appropriate directions. We've got enough rope for anything.
Always need rope.
Yeah.
I guarantee we'll use rope one time in this, I promise.
I mean, it was pretty good with the flying pony. A lot of fun. I hope you had fun.
I had a blast.
In retrospect, I had fun too. Just, yeah.
Do you go back into bar with ale to drink, or are you looking for an inn to stay in?
An inn.
Okay. You wander around the city, find an inn. Not super fancy by any means. It is definitely more motel style, as it's like almost a series of houses all connected together, and there's a main lobby. You seem to get like a small homestead for these rentals. Cost 10 gold piece a night to stay in this, but all of them have 3 rooms, a kitchen, pretty much like a tiny home.
Nice. I'll pay that.
Pay your 10 gold, you have your room, and you all find rest. The next day begins with the bustling city sounds that wakes all of you up, however you slept in a 3-bedroom home. Whoever slept on the couch.
The bed was too much, the couch is a good in-between.
What's your plan for today?
Shopping.
Yep, just gonna get a lay of the land, start from where we are, and hit up every magic shop.
Okay. You wander through the
Take-
city the entire day. I assume you're looking for a magic shop of some sort?
Yeah, magic shop.
Okay. You do eventually find a magic shop called the Purveyor. It's up next to the Royal District. It is not in the Royal District, but it seems very fancy and out of place compared to the buildings that are around it. It stands out a lot. As you walk into this place, you see it is lined with shelves of armor, weapons, shields, clothing. There are jewelry cases scattered around the center and on the edges that are locked and sealed. And you see behind the counter, there's a tall human woman standing close to like 6 foot tall. Not wearing robes or anything of that like magical nature, but wearing more of like a leather vest and a button-up shirt and slacks. And behind her is a like cubbyhole system that has like all these scrolls and parchments and stuff like stuffed into all the pockets. Hello. Welcome to the Purveyor. What you looking for?
Oh, I'm in the market for some new spell scrolls. We're adventurers, you know, looking to run into a little bit of action from time to time, and just looking for something, anything of use.
Well, as far as spell scrolls go, there's only one thing useful. She pulls out a scroll and sets it on the counter. Fireball.
Oh, I already know that one.
You're prepared then. I don't know what else you need. What are you looking for?
Well, sometimes, you know, you're dungeon delving and you find a chest that's locked, and you can't open it. Something that can unlock a lock. Or if we get caved in a place and we need to dig our way out, some sort of moving earth, moving stone, get through it without, suffocating to death. It's another good one to have. We've gotten close with that a couple of times. Some sort of teleportation in an old ancient ruin. If you can't get a door open, maybe it's easy to just poof on into the other side.
Move on into the other side.
Got her.
Alrighty. I have a few of those. We have knock for the locks. Sure you're familiar with what it does. Just kind of cast a knock on a door, it unlocks things. Pretty handy if you don't have someone proficient with lockpicks. That one runs about 500 gold pieces. As far as moving stone and earth and stuff like that, the only thing I have there is move earth. That's a powerful spell. That one will run you about 6,000.
Okay. I'm just kind of tallying up how much I got right here in my head. My arcane calculator.
And, as far as moving from one place to another, we don't really have teleport spells or anything like that. I've got a handful of dimension door.
Ooh.
Those run around 2,000.
2,000 for dimension door. Okay. Well, I definitely want to get that knock one.
Of course.
'Cause that is just fun. And I'm thinking about that dimension door real hard. 2,000, you said?
Correct. I have a handful of them too. So if you need multiple, I have them.
Alright, well, you could, and I'll turn to everyone. So if one of you got a spell, you could theoretically try to use it. If you wanted to, also jump into a place with me. Because I can only take someone with me that's my size. Would I even be able to take Bosch? He's a little bit taller than me.
Yeah, Bosch, I would say, would probably fit your size profile. He'd be the only one that you could take through a dimension door.
I could cast Reduce on someone and then take him with me.
Just have a 2-foot tall dude that you just carry through the dimension door.
Yeah, just make you real small. Then you're like a little devil man. Pop you through a dimension door. Make you big again. If I got both of these, could we do some sort of buy one, get one a little bit off? I almost said half, but I'm not going to ask that. That's ridiculous.
Make a persuasion check.
Now, would you do a buy one, get all free? No.
That's worse than what I said. Trying to be reasonable.
What I could do, if you get 2 of the dimension door spells, I'll throw in the knock spell for free.
The dimension door was 2,000, right?
Correct.
Would any of you be interested in trying to do a dimension door spell on your own?
And just for your knowledge, Flan, they are 4th level spells.
Okay.
And you can cast directly from a scroll, separate of using a spell slot. So if you learned one, you would still have a spell to cast it again if you had a second one. Or,
Well, I would know that anyone could theoretically use a scroll. They would just have to roll for it.
correct.
So that's where my mind was going. But
what would you have to roll?
an Arcana check, right? And you just have to be. I don't know how it rules.
I think
I
it's
just know you
10
gotta
plus
roll.
the spell level, so you'd have to roll like an Arcana check over 14.
Or it just fails.
I've never had any experience with it. It probably wouldn't be that good.
Yeah. It's a 4th level, so I could only do it once. So if I needed to get in and out of a place, theoretically, I would not be able to do that. I could only get in or out. So an extra one would be beneficial. 4,000 gold. 3 scrolls. What do y'all think? Shall we think on it? Circle back?
I think we should go back to the blacksmith and see if maybe he could make a mock-up or something.
We're gonna keep our options open. I do like this. It's very reasonable. So maybe in a few hours in the day or first thing in the morning, we might be back to take you up on that deal, if that's all right.
Sounds good to me.
All right. Thank you so much. And I do love the fireball suggestion. It's a fun one.
It's the best spell.
It's real good. I did it while I was flying. It was total chaos.
She chuckles. You leave. Where are you all heading?
My only other thought was to find other magic stores and like price check. But if that's not an option, we can do whatever anyone else wants to do.
Yeah, I guess. Probably be better.
That magic shop is by far the cheapest and has the most extensive library of spells.
Okay.
You're hard pressed to find knock anywhere, and Dimension Door is much higher priced at other places, and there is only one.
I'm gonna say I'm going back. I'm gonna say I'll definitely go back by the end of the day and get that. I'll do the deal. That's handy.
Okay.
That's good stuff.
And before end of day, is there anything else being accomplished?
I think so.
And you guys are just noticing how much money Flynn really has had. Oh, that's why he's freaking paying for everything. You can't hear me?
Sam said something.
Oh.
Oh, I have so much gold.
I just dropped 4,000.
I have over 300.
Very good. Should take that to a casino.
Okay. So you can go ahead and mark that gold off for end of day, wrapping that up. You get 2 scrolls of Dimension Door and a knock spell scroll.
Oh, hell. I hope I got enough gold to learn them. Didn't think about that till just now.
Anything else on this day, or was this just a shopping, trying to find important stuff day?
I mean, the blacksmith, he'll just take too long. And then a mock-up, if he already has the spells, there's no reason to.
Okay. So you avoid the blacksmith, spend the rest of the day shopping around for magic items and scrolls. Realize that you had already been to the best one in the city. Go back to the purveyor, get your scrolls for lots of money. Head back to city drinking, kind of getting into the later hours of the day. When you walk in, Greg looks at you, Nereus. Nereus, I left something in the private room for you.
Thank you. I go in there.
You find a weird horn-looking thing that is like the antler of something. It looks like you put it into your ear and you can hear better. It has a little note under it that says, to help you crack in safes.
Oh.
That will allow you to do your lockpicking with proficiency, instead of just blindly guessing at numbers.
Aha! Maybe this is something I'll need.
Any final thoughts or statements? Anything we're doing to finish the day?
I'm just looking. I'm looking at the rules for copying spells, and once I learn those again, I'll say that I did that if I can afford it. But that's pretty much it. I can do that after we're done.
Anybody else?
Or what if we... I'm kidding.
Then we will call the session there. And there are now 4 episodes left before the epic conclusion.
Oh man.
Cool. Till next time. Bye, YouTube.
Bye, YouTube.
Hit some buttons or something.
Bye.
Lick and describe.
Click and describe. Push the buttons, you'll win.